We are live, I believe, sir.
Oh, right there, kicking shit. What you talking about?
What? Actually, I'm not going to use. Let's let people pour in for a second. Hopefully they can hear us. Our true audio test will be when people start getting in. Hey, we got a person. Let us know in the comments real quick if you can hear us. Mr. Yossi, say something, please.
What's good?
Can you hear us both okay? We need to know to make sure we got it all set up properly on our first go. Can you hear us both okay? We need to know to make sure we got it all set up properly. Are you out of it?
Huh?
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
On the street?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, they can hear us fine.
Yeah, they can hear us just fine, sir.
Good deal. This is kind of exciting because we're not going to have any mess ups with audio issues or racist music. Robots or PlayStation music. Did you watch that stream back? Did you see how racist that robot was?
Hey.
Dude, he never stopped messing with you.
I know.
The whole podcast, 3 hours, okay? And then what made it worse was when he would come up in the middle, right? And he'd have that little pong game, and I was on the blue side. I won every match. He did it like 12 times. I won every match. That's the most racist ass robot I've ever seen in my whole life.
Where is this one?
God dang, it's like a Microsoft robot got inside of the damn PlayStation.
This one we got. This one.
He's I've been tagging him all week, and he's been tagging me on stuff that we should talk about off of Twitter. So we just made the mistake of not actually writing the shit down. So he's going back after the fact. We're gonna scroll through for our topics.
Correct.
I will start off. Well, how many people got in here? I don't have the PlayStation app doesn't show me how many people are in here. We got enough people in here? I don't know yet. We can wait a little bit longer. But as y'all can tell, we got some 4th of July spirit. We're on the patio, obviously, and we got people shooting off fireworks all around us. So that's kind of a cool ambiance. However, it might get annoying on the mic. I don't know. And hopefully, I mean, it's hot and humid. I feel like we're in Houston right now, but hopefully the wind stays like this, because when the wind picks up, the audio gets all distorted. But right now there's like 0 wind, so we're just sitting and drowning in our own sweat. But it is what it is. I feel like, did you get a beer? You want another one?
I'm all gingered out. This water's got to do because we're going to pass out in a minute.
I feel like I want one more. You can hold it down.
For those who don't know, yes, I vape CBD. I don't smoke, but I vape CBD for health reasons. For any of my followers that's in here, y'all saw I've been kicking shit today on my timeline. It was so many triggered people, man. We got a lot to talk about. You shouldn't be triggered at truth, right? And if it's a lie, it should be easily disproved. But we gonna get to all of that. We gonna kick that real good shit about that. Cause they still triggered. All in my comments, all in my mentions. Upset.
Yeah, the Twitter world is so easy to make people get upset. We're gonna go into that a little bit how I view these people getting triggered and what's going on in their own brain. I'll start off. So you came over. Now you didn't have fresh off the grill, but you did have it relatively close. White people grilling. What do you think? There were street tacos. So it wasn't like true barbecue or anything. But
no, his dad, he did it right. I would have preferred some red onions, but
my mom doesn't like those white.
She like the white ones.
Yeah. Oh no, she doesn't like the green bell peppers. Never mind.
Okay, so the right.
You want red onions?
Yeah, red onions.
That's not authentic though, sir.
What you mean?
For street tacos?
Yes, it is.
No, man, you gotta use white ones.
No, you don't.
I've never been to a street taco place that had red onions. What the hell are you talking about?
You might need to come to Fort Worth then.
Fucking Fort Worth, where all the cowboys live. Bullshit ass.
His dad, they live out here in Cedar Hill. This is the black area in Dallas in the DFW, right? So I don't think you really know what a real street taco is.
Uh,
Got the salon. Hey, it
you
was
went
good though.
fair.
It was fire. I ain't
That was all. Oh, and the hot. Did you have the hot sauce?
I did.
That was all homemade from scratch, by the way, too.
Yeah, that shit was
Hey,
fire.
I'm not taking credit for it. It has nothing to do with me. I can't do that shit. But so we had that right. So you were eating. I had to go to the bathroom. This is a true story, and it's gonna be one of those things where you're gonna be like too much information. However, blew up the bathroom, and it was coming time to wipe the undercarriage. So I do the move where you kind of lean on one side so you can access the undercarriage. And when I did that, I think my left arm pressed on my stomach. Okay, and I was going under the undercarriage, and I farted in my own hand. I don't think that's ever happened to me in my whole life.
This is what I did with. I was look.
Can you get pink eye if I rub my eye afterwards?
Yeah,
Is that how that works?
Hey, shitty eye, shitty eye. It don't matter if it's your shit or somebody else's shit, right? I just want y'all to know this is what I deal with daily. So if y'all know, we met on Twitter, right? And at this point, we talk every damn day. And I hang out with this motherfucker probably, and I more than I hang out with anybody here in Texas, as far as outside of my own family.
That just means you have really poor decision making skills. Fuck around with me.
Cause all my other guys, they either at work, they be booed up or whatever, be chilling, whatever. Me and David kick it every day, pretty much.
Yeah, we haven't started gaming yet because I quit online, but because I get to me online gaming is like literal heroin. So I had to cold turkey, but I'm thinking about downloading whatever the fuck it is you play so I can show you what's up and then bounce.
I'm a first person shooter game guy. Call of Duty for me.
I will put your AR that we shot on it. You cannot touch me. And before you agree to that, I challenge you to go look at the channel and go look at my past, and then get back to me. Because I will challenge you for that gun, because that shit will be mine. And I'm not even going to take it from you. I'm going to let you keep it. And that way, every time we come out, I'm going to be like, hey, how's my gun treating you? And that's all. That's all it'll be.
He won't win. My guy Kenny been trying to get me to download Apex Legends. I'll probably download that when I get home.
I'm not fucking with that game.
Why not?
I like the original one. Well, what it was based on Titanfall, right?
Yeah.
Titanfall 1, I loved. And then Titanfall 2, they made subtle changes I didn't like. And then this Apex is probably just a bunch of buffoonery. I ain't messing with it.
Gotcha.
But that's all. Well, you're fresh on it though, so I've never even played it, so I might fuck with it. But there's just bullet sponge people. I don't like bullet sponges. I like one shot to the head kills.
Oh, is that
In my
what it is?
games. No, I'm assuming it's not like
Oh,
that.
I don't want to waste the whole clip trying to kill you.
That's why I'm assuming that's what it's like.
Yeah, I need hardcore team deathmatch now.
Oh, okay, I'll fuck with that.
Yeah.
All right, we might get along in that regard. I like that.
I don't do that whole.
All right.
I gotta sit and shoot the hell out of you before you die.
All right, fair enough. So you made a post about. Well, I guess before we go into that, we should probably talk about the sheriff incident, which wasn't really an incident, but it was funny nonetheless. Just to kind of set the stage. We were at the range, ETTS, and Waxahachie, and I'm gonna keep mentioning their names, so hopefully they can sponsor us and give us a membership.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
But we were out there, and they had like those. If you go to like a soccer game or whatever, or like a soccer tournament or something, you'll see these like tents that are like portable and they pop up. Well, they had it like, I guess that's what it was, and they had it down tilted really far, like this. So like when you were standing behind it, you couldn't see it. So all they saw was like the silhouette if you were behind that blue tent. Well, you had the AR strapped around your neck,
Honestly.
and you had your XDM on your belt.
Yep.
Springfield. Name off the brands, because maybe one day them bad motherfuckers, because that's what I shoot too. I shoot XDM too. So is he. I mean, sponsored? No.
I'm Springfield biased. I'm not gonna lie.
So you had that on your hip, and then, well, I guess you weren't really dressed scary, but so anyway, you that's what you had on, and you were over here, and I was behind the tent, so all they could probably see is my silhouette. And so this cop is driving by, and he's sheriff, right? Yeah. So he was going what? If you had to guess, like 20 miles an hour, something like that.
I would think so. He was driving normal speed, and then when he saw the big bad black man,
he kind of slowed down a little bit.
Slowed all the way down. David was kind of bent down. I was standing up because he was doing something with his rifle, and he made a comment. He said, "Look," he said, "Man, he said I'm gonna stand in front of you and protect you." I said, well, you know what? As well as you should use your white privilege to protect me. That's right. And I didn't know what he's talking about until I turned around and go to sheriff.
And so I walked from outside the tent, and I wasn't necessarily. I don't know if I was facing the squad car or not. Was I facing it?
My back was to him.
Okay, yeah, because I came out and I looked at him, and then he almost came to a complete stop, and then you said, "We done fucked up."
I said he didn't suck, cause then he came to the point where he can see me with the rifle now. He was like, oh my God. He was just like, oh my, that black's gonna kill that white.
And he almost came to a damn near stop, bro. I was like, oh, we fucked up.
I feel like he ran my tags on my truck too. He was just like, oh my God.
He did kind of stay there for a little bit, didn't he?
He did.
But also, like our perception of this could be way off. He could have just been like slowing down. Because there wasn't a whole lot of people around, so when he gets by people shooting, maybe he just slows down out of courtesy or
curiosity.
Not curiosity, but he was being C word, yes. I'm losing my damn brain. Courteous.
Uh-huh.
And then he saw me facing him and thought maybe I wanted to say hi or say something. So maybe he came to a stop, oh, maybe they want something. It could be that. Or it could be what our perception of it was.
That black's gonna kill that white.
Yeah, especially where we were. It was so sketchy. You were probably the only black dude in like a 10-mile square radius easily.
He stopped behind my truck, and mind you, we over in the next station, so we actually.
Yeah, we were in our station.
Yeah, we went in our station. So he stopped by my truck. I was like, he probably running my place for real. Like, oh my God.
Well, that could be part of it too. Is that he was like, wait a minute, why is there a car here with stuff on the bench here and they're over there?
Either way, he was just doing his job. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? We had a good laugh about it. It was hilarious though, because we cracked the jokes and we kind of stopped laughing once he started slowing down.
Wait.
It's like, oh shit,
we done jinxed ourselves. Oh man, yeah, that was hilarious. And then we had the guy that he'll be here next Thursday or Friday. He owns a company called ODG, and he's a retired. I don't know. You're not, when it comes to Marines, you gotta walk it with a fine line on how you talk about Marines, because they get real antsy and uppity about how you talk about them. So I don't think you can say retired Marine. Or what's a Marine? Always Marine. Or whatever they do.
He's not active.
He's not an active Marine. Yeah, that's probably better. And then he also owns a tactical training company. So he was supposed to be meeting us out there that day, but he redefined black time, because that man was, what, 3.5 hours late?
He didn't show up.
He never showed up.
We was trying to save our ammo and shoot his ammo.
That's right. Well, don't say it live. He'll watch this and be like, oh, wait a minute, fuck these guys.
Oh shit. Never mind.
He said that.
Yeah. I'll have a 40, so you don't carry the ammo anyway.
That's true. I was trying to shoot your ammo. That's what it is. Put that shit on me. So anyway, because that kind of wasted the day. But we tried to do some cowboy shooting and stuff. We posted videos of it, and which is a good segue into, you made a post. Like I just posted all the just little clips that I got of us shooting, and like one of our competitions. And then we tried to live stream one of them, but didn't realize that we didn't have any service, so it didn't really show up. But you posted a clip from your phone, which, by the way, your camera is fucking amazing compared to mine. Like you can see the muzzle flash on yours. You can't see that on mine for the most part.
It's that Android. It's that $1,500 phone. It better look amazing.
My shit, I got like an old ass.
I switched from Apple because that last update put my shit in the boot loop. I'm
a boot loop?
Yeah.
What the fuck's a boot loop?
First of all, I am an Apple guy for real. I didn't want to switch, but I got business.
Do you also wear gloves when you work out?
No.
Do you work out at a white girl gym with a latte in your hand?
No.
Okay. That's what people tell me when I tell them I'm an iPhone person. I was just throwing it back at you.
No. So, but I didn't want to switch, but I ended up switching anyway. I just that damn Samsung GS20 Ultra, whatever. So it better shoot well, because all it is a camera that can text and makes calls.
Which, by the way, whenever on that video, when I squeeze the trigger the first round, you can see the
muzzle flash.
The flame or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But in the consecutive shots after that, you can't see it anymore. Is that normal?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that happen?
Every shot don't flash.
Why?
Don't ask me why. I don't know. Don't get me talking technical.
Goddamn it, Cecil. See, if you were there, I could have had this question for you. You could have answered it.
But it's the guys. But everything just don't. They all don't flash.
Fair enough. So you posted a video of me shooting your gun, and I was like, just dangle on a lamp, because I like to make things interesting, and I put scenarios in my own head when I'm shooting. Like I basically put a video game narrative to what we're doing. and you said, I don't remember what you said. What did you say on your post? It was basically just like real world is
Oh,
fun,
yeah. So
basically.
no, so basically, I was just really pushing back on the narrative that it's this great divide and something's happening in the country that we all need to be aware of or cognizant of a divide of the racial groups,
While low
basically.
key calling me a crazy person.
So I said
You did.
if
You
it was
did.
such a good divide, would I be hanging out with this man? You know what I'm saying? Would I actually hand him my AR-15, alluding to his crazy behavior and
That's true.
his crazy character, right?
Which arguably would make you worse because you keep coming back.
I do,
You enjoy it. You enjoy
but
it. That's a step positive.
but that's the thing. See, I can acknowledge my own crazy. I kind of deal with I like gravitating to people who ain't all there. So I take my accountability in it.
She said I'm all there. Fuck you.
So I accept my accountability in it. I attract a certain type of mental person. You know what I'm saying?
Mental illness.
Yeah, and he fits this. He fits. He works.
Uh, but man, people's interpretation of all that. Like, most people got it for the most part, but there were a few. I don't even know if they were followers of yours or not, but like there was a few that were like really taken back. Well, y'all's situation is not how it goes for the whole world and all that. Like whatever the fuck they were saying, I didn't really like respond to most of them. But what what do you think? You made another post with it was a black dude getting hit by a German Shepherd and a white cop.
Yeah.
That was like what was that? What was that from? What was that picture from? Was that like the Martin Luther King?
Yeah, that's one of them situations.
So it said the dog was conservatives, the cop was it white liberals?
Liberals and media.
Liberals media. And then there wasn't anything over the black dude, was there?
It just said black human.
Okay. So the people like they got mad about that one too. Like it's weird. What's your I'll let you say it first. Like what's your take on the two of those together and what people's gripes are with them?
So the first thing is with the issue with the AR-15. You know what I'm saying? That people are saying that our singular situation is not the entire world. That it is a racial divide and social economic situation. Yes, economics and social economics, I totally agree. As far as the racial divide, that's honestly a person to person thing. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, it ain't like it's just a group of whites and a group of blacks. You know what I'm saying? And
You gotta say whites.
whites.
No, whites.
No, see, I
A
can't
little
say it
bit
like
a little bit of H in there.
I can't say it like that. I like that. I don't like that dialect.
What's my saying? White way.
But to combat all that divisiveness and that we're at odds, it starts with people. It starts with citizens, and that way this whole divide bullshit goes away. Because at the end of the day, our most gripes aren't people based. It's government, society type of based or whatever, and the stigmatization of the environment that government has allowed to progress and simmer. So that's just what that is. And as far as and then going back to my post today, I didn't add. I didn't. Only thing the point of the post was
Did you have a heading or did you have any text?
I just said prove me wrong.
Oh, that's right.
The point of the post was liberals and the media. They can trigger Republicans and conservatives at any time. All they have to do is post anything black or anything non-white. Let me say that. And I'm not just thinking conservatives and people on the right are just white people. And then what they would do, they would get triggered every time. It's like clockwork. I guarantee you by next week, they'll be attacking black people once again. Now, like I said, media and liberals, they can attack they can attack the right, and the right in turn gets upset at the media, but then attacks black people, black culture, and black history. That's just the cycle we're in. That's just how that goes. And I think they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose because they know conservatives are reactionaries, and y'all go do what y'all do best and attack a group of people, so that y'all can lose votes. Understand, conservatives and people on the right. The only reason y'all don't get supported black votes is because of yourselves. It's not because of some boogeyman and we think all conservatives is racist and fuck Donald Trump and da da da. No, if you have interactions with conservatives, no matter what color they are, they have an attitude. They have a certain type of thing when it comes to black people, and that's just what it is. A lot of them can't speak to us normally like humans. You got to bring up.
Who you talking about?
conservatives, people on the right.
In general?
In general.
Or are you talking about Hollywood conservatives?
No, I'm talking about it in general. Just in general, right?
How do you have a lot of interaction with general conservatives?
I do. I do, and it's
Because I don't feel like that.
No, I'm not saying that you. I'm just saying overall.
No,
It's
I'm
like
just in general. Like that's what I was asking.
Oh, because here's the thing. It's like a lot of them. You have to. They don't approach you as a human being. They want to talk about Obama. They want to talk about Chicago. They want to talk about the black subjects. Why we got to talk about those subjects? We humans just like anybody else. So you don't have to try to bait us or conform or thinking that that's a way into a conversation with us, because that's 9 out of 10 it's not.
Do you make a distinguish? Do you distinguish between like somebody that just votes all right from like somebody that actually pays attention to the policies?
I think anybody that votes down ballots are weirdos and anti-American.
Right, but like the reason why I ask is because I guess in my small little bubble of a world, I guess like, online the majority of my interactions are with people that lean left. Probably yeah, probably.
Oh damn.
Because most of my online
Gamers.
interactions, yeah.
Gamers.
So most
Oh yeah.
and then most
So how the fuck you get on conservative Twitter?
with Hotep.
Hotep Jesus. Oh, okay.
I'm not on conservative Twitter. I just that's why like people get really confused with me. They're like, what the fuck? Because I'll make like several conservative-ish posts and then make liberal ones at the same time. Like,
Right.
And so it confuses people.
Balance, people. Balance.
It's not even balance. I just don't like either side.
Me neither. That's what I'm saying. The balance.
Yeah. But the reason why I was bringing it up is because, but yeah, like I found, I guess what you're calling the conservative Twitter was Hotep, but that I wouldn't consider that conservative.
No.
In my opinion.
Right
That's
leaning. Right leaning.
like center right probably.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how he feels, or that most people on that side feel about all the different policies. I don't know. But but what I was getting at was so in my small circle in real life, the way you're describing conservatives is not what I've ever seen. Like I don't know very many, if any. I mean, there probably is a few, but I can't recall their names. But that don't like support gay marriage. That don't. Like they're kind of like almost everybody I know that votes red. They are almost all, to a certain degree, socially liberal. And so the way you're talking about black people is not how I've ever seen them talk ever. So that's why it's.
What you mean?
Well, like so it seems like the media makes y'all pawns, and they move you from board to board,
Correct.
or from side to side on the board.
Correct.
Which you see that clear as day, just like with Kanye. George Bush days, the right was like, slide them over here, you suck, because George Bush doesn't hate black people.
Yeah.
And then fast forward a few years, and then now they're bringing it back over because he supported Trump,
Mm-hmm.
or I gave out the impression of that. So it's like they're using it as a pawn, both sides.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been going on for ever. I don't know if that translates. I can't speak about nationwide because you've lived in way more places than I have, so you have a better understanding. But at least in my small circle here, I don't know of anybody that does that or feels like that or doesn't call that out and think it's wrong.
As far as what? Black people or white people?
Conservatives, like just in general, like
Which part?
mainly white people
Which part? Which part?
using black people as pawns. Like they all recognize it and think it's terrible.
This is very well.
I think I don't
Right,
know.
so here's the thing.
I haven't really had that direct conversation, but I'm just like
So the way they go about it is to basically point that out. That's the issue. Like we don't know that it's happening. That we don't know pandering when we hear it, right? But the turnoff point is their approach.
You say turtle?
Turnoff.
Turnoff.
Turnoff point is their approach to us. It's not as a human. It's not like how you and I talk. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's not like that at all. It's
That seems like that from the media side. You're saying that happens on the human level too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all you got. See, it all depends on which right rabbit hole you go down, right?
Are you talking about from the internet standpoint or real life?
Both. Because here's the thing: when it comes
Well,
to
internet, sure, but in real life though, I can't imagine because I feel like people are gonna be fake in front of you anyway.
But when it comes down to right or left, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Online or in real life, it's factions. Would you agree? It's factions to each side.
Yeah.
Right. So if you find yourself
Or as the left will call it, a spectrum.
right. So if you find yourself down, if you find somebody the faction of Candace Owens, that conversation won't be as pleasant.
Well, okay, so like my dad likes her.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like,
Lord.
I was trying to,
Seems so cool.
I know. Well, and I did too in the beginning because I just liked how I liked the way she delivers her message. Like she just seems like I don't like her voice. It irritates the fuck out of me. That's why I stopped listening to her
Right.
almost immediately because I was like, oh, I like the way she delivered her message because I like anybody that can use. Like they can use the English language, or just I don't speak other languages, so I'm using English as an example. But when they can use words in like a poetic way, in the way they formulate their sentence to put them in thought, and then the way you receive it, it's almost like poetry. Like which is kind of like why I love older hip hop so much because the way it sounds, the way it's delivered, the way they deliver the message, it's like an art form to me. Or like Jordan Peterson or a Sam Harris is another example of a really good one, or Jocko. Like he's more of like his is more dumbed down, but I even respect the way Trump does it at the fourth grade level. Like I guess part of that comes from me having a sales background and outside sales background, so I understand the power of persuasion.
Correct.
So she's really fucking good at that. I don't think anybody would deny that. But then I saw her debate. Was it Mayor White, the transgender person, on Dave Rubin's show?
Oh, I can see that.
It was basically a screaming match, and I just got really turned off by it, so I stopped paying attention to her. But then I found Hotep Twitter or whatever you want to call it, and y'all started pointing out. I say y'all because you have that in your handle, which I think you should change because you're not a goddamn sheep. Quit being a sheep. I understand. I understand. You explained it to me. I get it. But he owns it now. So now you're being a sheep.
Hotel was around way before.
I understand.
Way before him.
But the perception is that you're just being a follower. You're being a sheep. You will never see me put a hotel by my name. Fuck that.
Why not?
I ain't doing it. If you're watching Mr. Brian Sharp, I ain't doing it.
We didn't ask him to. So when Brian Sharp, when Brian Sharp did basically Hotel Jesus, he redefined it basically.
Yeah, I know, but like, anyway, that's not the here there.
You know what's weird? Like, cause my wife thinks he's a weirdo. She was like, "You like that? You like?"
My wife gets turned off mine too because have you seen the videos I make where he'll say something in regards to women or whatever, and then I'll test it in real time, and record it. So
you ain't seen that. When you do that?
That's how he and I started like communicating back and forth because
yeah. I think I have seen it on the video.
You probably didn't realize it. Yeah, I did a bunch of them. I would try out his little tweets in real time to see what kind of reaction I get out of him.
Yeah.
It's always out of context on purpose because I just want to see their real reaction. But my wife, when we watched the podcast together, she liked him, but then she was like, I don't think she likes his stance on women, but I don't think she quite understands it either. But that's neither here nor there. So what I was getting at, to circle back around with Candace Owens, for instance, when my dad, he was like, yeah, but you liked her in the beginning, what changed your mind? You're just a follower. You listen to one Hotep, and all of a sudden you hate her. I was like, no, on the outside, that makes sense. I'll grant that to you. But they've showcased why she's bad for the community. And so, but I couldn't, for the life of me, remember a single point as to why. And I found myself just like making no sense and just a bunch of gibberish. And he was looking at me like, you're a fucking idiot. So I just stopped, and so I'd have to when he gets back home, because they went to go see fireworks. They took my kids and my wife, and we're here doing this. When he gets back, I'll need your help to explain to him what's wrong with her. I remembered the points about George Floyd, and he understood that part. But like I couldn't remember like why y'all didn't like him her from like the middle, because I think everybody liked her in the beginning. If you're a conservative.
Oh, I've never liked her.
Really, never, not once.
No.
Oh, well, I don't want to call people out, but there's people that are on that side that I talked to in the DMs that all agree with me.
Yeah, no, I've never liked her.
Because there was a clear point where she like the grifting really kind of took over.
Like for me, here's the thing: if all you do is speak negatively on one group of people, and I'm part of them people,
I don't feel like she did that in the beginning.
I don't know. Whenever
you found her, okay.
I went through Blexit hell. Seriously, that's the only conservatives I was running into. Is Blexit conservatives.
You mean like the black side?
No. Like
the people that have already left? Those people?
Blexit conservatives. Blexit TPUSA conservatives is the only ones I was running into.
I guess I don't know what that is.
is Candace Owens. Black shit is Candace
Oh.
Owens. Yeah. So what it don't matter what color they are.
But you like the Hodge twins, right?
I can tolerate them.
But they kind of, because that was another thing he brought up. I think my dad brought that up. Or no, maybe that was my uncle. Never mind. But he goes, because he had my uncle, he's down in Austin. He works for UT and stuff. He's a left leaning guy. He had heard of Hotep and saw some stuff with him. I guess he watched part of the podcast with Rogan and all that. But he had some questions about him in regards to like how he thinks. And I didn't know all the answers clearly because I don't know fuck all. But would you say? And I thought he did, but like, do most people in that follow Hotep in that regard, do they like the Hodge twins? I can't tell. It's hard to gauge. Because it seems like they're kind of like in sync with her, right?
Yes, it depends.
They rap in comedy though, so it's a little different.
Right, but it all depends on your stances and how you view things. Like I said, I could tolerate them.
Are they bad for the black community though? You think?
They all right. I figure I look at it like this. When it comes to that side, if we go put them in the Candace Owens lane, can you say they grift? You can say they grift, yes. All you have to do really to get on the right and get in the good graces of the majority conservatives or whatever, all you gotta do is talk about black people.
Is that what it boils down to? Is that simple?
Very simple. I guarantee you, we can test it out.
Do the Hodge twins talk about black people in a bad light though?
Oh yeah.
Because like Tommy Sotomayor, I feel like he's always had some really profound shit to say. I don't always agree with it, but I like his delivery. I like his train of thought because it's radically different from like what most mainstream media talks about. I haven't watched him in probably 2 years, but he seemed to rub like almost everybody the wrong way. I don't care what side you were on.
I think that's balanced. Shit, I rub both sides the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But
So do you like him?
I don't mind him at all.
Do you?
Here's the thing: if you gonna be a dick, or you gonna have your stances, make it be balanced. The reason I don't fool with Candace Owens, the Hodge twins, really, Brandon Tatum, Bryson Greer, and all that. Here's the thing: they specifically target and judge one group of people and praise the other one. That's not balanced. And that's all. And it seems like all you have to do to get on this Trump train, all you got, and the MAGA way, put on a red hat, scream CAG, MAGA, Trump, did the Trump 2020.
He has invited a lot of black people out that have MAGA hats on
And
to the White House.
and all you gotta do is say, what about Chicago? And black people are fatherless.
The Fox News talking points.
Yeah, black people are fatherless. They're ghetto. They're poor, and they're not accountable. And, our favorite. They're on the plantation. All you gotta do is say that stuff on the right, and your views, your followership, you would hit over 10,000 in a good 2 weeks, easy.
Well, you need to do that right quick. Boost this shit up. And then we can start backpedaling. You know what I mean?
Can't do it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't know. I can't remember. I don't feel like the Hodge twins do that necessarily, but maybe they do. I don't watch them very often, but they are funny here and there. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But see, your humor and their humor is totally different.
My humor sucks. It makes a lot of people.
But I'm saying, like, even when you rap your racial questions or when you point out racial issues, I hate to say racial, that's stupid. Just say racial issues, right? Your humor is totally different because you know it's not coming from a fucked up, weird ass place. With theirs, they walk that line.
But aren't they mixed?
Yeah.
Can they not? I mean, technically speaking, can they not fuck with that line way more than somebody like me? I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I do. But
That's like the balance that they don't. I ain't gonna say that they kind of play with. They do. They play that line a lot, and they step on the right and the left all the time. They tight walk that shit, and that's why I say I can tolerate them. They not as bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah.
Do they fall victim to that same thing you pointed out last podcast, where you're saying mixed people talk? How'd you put it? They talk more about their white mom or white parent more so than the black parent. Did they do that? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I can't say yes or no for that. Because honestly, when I listen to them, I never look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? I look at them with a different view, different lens. You know what I'm saying? I be like, I see how they play both of them lines.
Because you're probably not even subconsciously, but when you watch somebody that is a known conservative that's black, you probably go into it thinking like, let me find the grifts. Is that what you do? Like,
Oh, pretty much. Because here's the thing. No
so
matter
that's your
what,
own. That's your own bias then.
Yeah, I was raised naturally conservative. It has nothing to do with politics. That's just what it is.
Like
So when I hear conservative either way, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I kind of put they when they get to talking and you hear what their stances are, you can kind of put them in a certain area. You know what I'm saying? It's not rare, but it's like I like the ones that have balance. The ones out front really don't have a lot of balance.
Like what's that? The brain surgeon dude? You don't like him?
Ben Carson. I like Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
I ain't got no issue with the man.
Do you think he's a grifter? I don't feel like he's a grifter.
No, I don't. At least I don't believe.
I feel like he's a really dumb smart person. Is that because he says some things that throw me off, like the pyramids were you used whole grain and went into this like real weird.
Well, he's a brain surgeon. He's smarter than us.
He's smart as fuck. Right. That's why I say he's a smart dumbass. Like there's a lot of people like that.
Right.
Like where you're like, I know you're smarter than me, but that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Maybe I just got dumb. I don't know. But he says some things that are really questionable. I'm just like, huh? Anyway, hold on real quick. So what's up, Jamal? Brody, thanks for coming in. LP. I just want to make sure. I'm gonna try to do a better job of tracking comments. The problem, I posted this on Twitter. The problem with addressing the comment section in the midst of a conversation is it can kill the vibes, you know, or it messes with the flow of the conversation. So it's not like we want to outright ignore what you guys are saying, what you're contributing to. So it just gets challenging. So, but please feel free to ask questions about topics or whatever, join in on the conversation, and we're going to do our best to engage. My wife was, or hopefully your wife, somebody's wife, or kids, or somebody can be here, hopefully moving forward in the background. They'll be our Jamie from the Rogan podcast, and then they can look shit up and they can like address the comment sections that like we need to, you know, respond to, if you will. I don't know if I like the idea of only doing super chats. Not that we can get that yet because we don't have 1,000 subscribers, but I feel like that's like a form of like paying to be friends, and I'm not with that. That's why I don't know. I didn't fuck with college like that, like fraternities and shit. I don't fuck with none of that. That's just nonsense. Like
he has this thing, like really. He has this thing about people giving him anything.
Never. I hate it, dude. I fucking hate it. Like I just can't stand it. I will.
Which is weird because we're trying to build up this platform, correct? Right? And we still trying to find our lane that we kind of want to veer in. But we are going to veer a lot towards like the firearm section. But so with that, he wants sponsorship, but that's giving us things.
No, it's not. We're earning that though because we're promoting. There's a difference. We're working for it. I don't want people watching to feel like they have to work for them to be heard. Like that's not cool. Like this because we are community driven.
Correct.
You and I came together and did this because the community was asking for it. So I don't want to like leave them behind. That's bullshit. That's not fair to them. And I don't want to make them pay to say something. That's stupid. But I mean, obviously, if we ever
maybe they support the cause. Because here's the thing: like I've never given to any online or social media type of anything.
Hell no. Right? I've never.
Hotel Jesus probably he's the absolutely only one that I've ever did any of that with.
I did something similar like that with him, but that's because he's like I guess like the most semi-famous person I know or talk to. I don't know, but that I engage with, not just publicly but personally, right? That I met outside of like people like you who I've actually met in real life, but anyway, he started sharing a lot of my stuff around, and I gained more people, more eyes on my content, and that's really why I got Twitter, just to make people laugh more than anything. It was just to entertain people, and so when he got more eyes on a lot of my videos and stuff, more people started coming to my channel more often just to see what fuckery I was up to.
Gotcha.
I felt like I owed him something, but I'm not. Like, look, I got 3 daughters, I got a wife, and we're in hard times, really hard times right now. Like y'all have no idea, like the struggle is real. So I'm not gonna take money out of the family account and give it to this man who's making way more money than me. He can fuck right off. Not happening. But what I did do is I made him a custom like Hotep Nation thing for his like background for his podcast, which he didn't fucking do. Wasted a bunch of time and effort, you motherfucker.
Maybe it's hanging up in his crib.
I don't give a shit. Look here, man. when you come down here to hang out with Alex Jones, you're coming here. We're gonna cook you some food, and I'm gonna be mean to you for like 3 seconds. But no, I did that for him because I felt like that was my way of saying thank you. But I'm not gonna give that motherfucker money. Hell no. I ain't doing it. So like, if y'all give me money, I think you're retarded, partially, but I also really appreciate it. Because right now we're doing this shit from a fucking PlayStation.
Support is support.
It's terrible. But see, at the same time, if we're providing entertainment, it's worth it. So I take that back. So if we're working really hard to do this, like you're driving fucking for 45 minutes, I'm driving 8 minutes. It's pretty rough on me. But it's the same because you can afford to come over here. That 8 minutes is money out of my pocket and gas to get here.
Right.
Not really. Point is, we're working. We are working. We're trying to entertain you people. So, what you mean, you people? So it's worth it. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just
David's he's an interesting guy. Like seriously.
I have ADHD.
Like,
my shit goes fucking. I don't know.
I was talking to my wife about David, and
She was supposed to be here today. Y'all backed out.
She
And you were
was.
supposed to work out with me today. And you backed out.
I was busy today.
You're a bitch, mate. It's fine.
Oh,
I mean, look, you're scared to work out today. I see.
offensive. Anyway, I was talking to my wife about David, and she was asking if
I wish I could hear that conversation.
I shared some things with her that she told me a little bit. She was like, you know, that you want to do something for him or whatever. I said he won't take it.
Do what for me? What are we doing? We're hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
What the fuck would you do for me? For what? I haven't done anything.
When you
What have I done for you?
When you have an overflow of things.
What have I done for you that would equate to you doing something for me? We're hanging out. We're having a good time. It's mutual.
Very well true, but
So
you know,
what the fuck? Keep that shit to yourself.
I like to bless
I
people.
like your wife, but she can, you know.
I like to bless people. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: when you have an overflow of
This motherfucker said
fun, overflow of funds.
Overflow.
Yes.
That's a low key flex if I've ever heard one.
Yes.
God damn.
It's like you give, and we give. You know what I'm saying? We no matter what, we like to help folks out, good people out. You know what I'm saying? They ain't has shit to do with charity. It's more of where we are in our journey with humanity. Period. You know what I'm saying? So we like to give. And I was like, nah, he won't take it. So I was like, we got to find other ways to bless this man.
Man, you're kicking it with me. It's all that's necessary. And I know I am annoying. So yeah, that's neither here nor there.
David B. He just needs some man
Interactions.
That's what it is.
I'm surrounded by nothing but women all
We
the
had that
time.
conversation. She was like, because I was like, David he need man interaction. I was like, what's crazy is I attract married men that's primarily in the home with their wives and they have nothing but daughters.
Pause.
I shouldn't say it. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, but these men like David, he just need some male bonding time because he just be at home bored.
You see the male dog I have? If that ain't like the gayest little thing you've ever seen. Bless his heart.
So if y'all wonder why we out shooting shit and kicking shit, you need to get outside, man.
And what I mean by gay is like he's like the feminine gay. Like he's, you know.
Which one?
The little one.
The blue, oh, that's yours?
The little Pomeranian?
Yeah.
He'll sit up like this.
Yeah.
Like,
I like him. See, I like the little dogs. I would never buy a little dog. I like man dogs, but
man,
that's a whole nother conversation.
He gets on my damn nerves. That motherfucker peed on my pillow. Straight up. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, little
Oh
dog.
my god, I laid my head right in that cold ass.
Can't be pissing on the bed.
Fuck that dog. My wife just texted me, quit cussing so much. I guess she's listening to it. Why are you not watching the dang fireworks? How are you listening to me? You done hearing me talk all the time.
Hey, keep tuning in. We like it.
Yeah, we need the viewers. Hey, Nate Presley's sign in too. Shoot. I'll try to stop. I can't censor myself, babe. Come on now, you know this. Anyway, so I guess back to Kenneth Owens. I get what you're saying. I would have to have you describe it to my dad because I don't remember all of it. I'm really bad when it comes to hearing shit, liking it, and then not being able to relay the information.
What's crazy is I met a lot of people on the right on Candace Owens on her threads. Now I have.
Yeah, you talked about that.
I have muted them because
you met a Karen at one point. Although I don't know if Karens are considered conservative or not. I don't know.
But so I met a lot of people on there. So here's the thing. When you talk openly with people, you find that you have a lot more in common than anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think people are assholes because of who they support or their stances. You know what I'm saying? Well, their stances could, yes, but who they support, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like it is what it is. You like who you like. I like who I like. Um, I put it in people. I put it in terms like this. How Candace Owens talks about black people, one group of people. I ask people, would you talk to your children like that? Is that how you would communicate with someone else?
Right.
Will you just focus on all their negatives, and that's how you'll talk to them? Because here's the thing. I'm all for accountability, but there's no way you would get through to anybody just talking shit about them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? 100% negative. That's not gonna turn anybody.
I don't watch enough of her stuff to know to combat that on whether or not she
Just
does
go
that or
down the
not.
thread.
I don't really care to do that.
I ask anybody who support Candace Owens. Find me a tweet. Find me anything of her actually saying something positive about black people.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't get past her voice, but
We stupid. We fatherless. We're slave. We on the plantation. Let me see. What she called us? She called us uh, I got all
I
the
guess is that
screenshots.
what you're referring to when you say people are the conservatives are using black people as a pawn in that regard because they don't even recognize that when they hear her talk? Is that
Oh,
what
they,
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 is
they
that
really,
what you're
yeah,
referring to?
pretty much. They don't. Here's the thing. Like I said, like new thing, the black anthem, right?
Okay, I was gonna ask about that.
Right. So here's the thing.
I don't know. Okay, what I thought you meant, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. When you said that, my original thought was, oh, you mean like whenever black people sing the national anthem with the falsettos and it goes on for too long? That's what I thought you meant, and I thought it was a joke. I had no idea. I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like I was
So
thinking like Whitney Houston doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking that, and I was like, what is he talking
no.
about? Like
So
I truly have no idea what the fuck
the
you're talking about.
song lift every voice and sing.
And I have no idea what
They
that is.
people's this the nickname is the black national anthem, right?
I have no idea what you're
Like
talking
what I
about.
said, it's like the media and the liberals they can trigger the right. You know what I'm saying? With anything like that.
I don't know. I don't feel like anybody knows what that is. It's like to me, it's like the Tulsa massacre. I don't feel like nobody knows what the fuck that you're talking about.
Or they ain't know what Juneteenth was either. But here's the thing. But you notice, like I said, if you go online,
Mm-hmm.
all the right was attacking black people on all three of those things. Why? That's what I'm saying. Like I said, the media.
So what, so you have a black national anthem,
No, it's a gospel song.
okay?
It's the name is Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Okay. So white people attack you for that?
Have you? Yeah. It's a whole thing that
People are attacking.
the song is divided and it's divisive. I'm like, have you read the song at all?
Well, like I understand why people feel like Black Lives Matter as a movement or the term or whatever the phrase or whatever is divisive and is excluding others. I get like the perception when you read that because it kind of does in the sense of like what the word means. Like Black Lives Matter, it's excluding other colors, right? So I get that from like a surface level, but once you understand it, it makes sense.
Right.
It's kind of like we're celebrating Fourth of July, which I know is a hot topic for some black people, but whatever. If you were, I guess a good analogy would be like, well, all nations matter, and then most people would be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? No, this is our independence, and they would argue it. You're like, okay, you're right. That's the same argument for Black Lives Matter, right? Kind of. So I guess I don't know. It gets really confusing to me. So like people are attacking you for that song, which is now commonly known as the Black National Anthem.
It's a nickname, but
It's a nickname.
it's literally a gospel song.
Yeah, I probably heard it.
It's called Lift Every
You
Voice
should
and
probably
Sing
sing it for me.
or whatever. And basically, and what it was is black folks taking pride in this country and thriving and moving forward and thriving. Right. That's all the song really is about. It's a positive song. There's nothing divisive, racism mentioned in it, and it's seriously a positive
So
song.
how the hell is it? How's it? What?
This is my point, David. The right gets triggered by the media and liberals, and what do? They're mad at the media and liberals, but then they attack black people. This is what I'm saying. That is my whole point. It's stupidity.
Is there any famous pundits that are doing this? That would be like on Fox News. I'm just curious.
See, I don't watch the news like that.
Well, I mean like via tweets or something.
Oh, of course, they all over the place.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I don't understand that
That's
at
how they
all.
that's how they rile it up, man. It gets ridiculous, especially on the Twitter world.
That's weird. I've just never.
So that was the whole point of that post. the whole point of the post of what I posted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The picture.
you're always really serious and like more profound with your tweets, and I'm like the exact opposite. So I always have something to say,
Yeah.
and it's always really sarcastic and really stupid and goofy, and I have to like delete it. I'll get halfway through it and be like, because I don't want to fuck up your shit, but like. Because half the time it's like I told Hotep, I don't ever know what the fuck you're talking about. Like half the time, like I do not understand at all. And so all the time, I just always want to respond with stupid shit. But it doesn't. That's not the whole point. That's taken away from what y'all are trying to do. So I don't
And
do it.
you
I'm
know,
respecting
and you
the
can see
message.
how people view different things too when you.
Well, I don't care about that. I'm respecting the person behind the tweet, which is y'all.
Right,
Like
right.
I don't want to. I know what y'all are doing, so I don't want to like me coming in with some goofy ass lame joke is not. That's taken away from the overall message. That's not fair.
Yeah. Of course, I would know what you're doing, but
But it doesn't matter.
yeah.
It still takes away from what you're trying to do. So
Right.
I had to like pick and choose. Like I made fun of something you posted earlier, but it was like that. But that one I had to say. I just felt like I felt the itch, so I did it. But yeah, I don't know. That's weird. It's weird that that's happening. Because I guess
No,
I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing
that's
that.
normal.
I didn't see that until you posted it, and I
Yeah.
didn't see anybody else talking about it.
That's because here's like it's like what's crazy is just like I don't know what you go through as a man, as a white man, whatever, right? So you in turn don't know what I go through as a black man and a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Married to who I'm married to, especially et cetera, et cetera. That's just human thing, right? That's just what it is. So you don't see the things that we see because we get it totally differently.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah.
have the
You have a different lens on it.
yeah, have a different lens and its interactions are totally different. Like how you are, that's not. I'm not gonna say it's not normal, but it's damn near almost damn near rare a little bit how you approach things, especially in that when you're in that political vein, when you're in that political
What
shit.
do I do that's different from
When
anybody else does?
you
Other than being unapologetic.
well, and you can tell yours ain't coming from a dickhead and stupid ass,
Even online though, where you can't hear inflection of voice or anything.
even online. You know, it's like whatever. Cause here's the thing, here's you like well for me, like you'll text me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it for me it doesn't come off weird as hell. And
Mm-hmm.
you know when people are making comments or saying stupid shit, if it's coming from an ignorant place or just the funny you being a little funny place.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, like, cause I don't even think we talked about it, but the post where you had me shooting your gun, um, the Dark Cloud. I don't know, you're not watching right now, I don't think, but I've known him for a few years via gaming and whatnot, gaming podcast, and he was like, I've known Silver for years, and I've never heard him make a racist joke. And what was odd about it is you didn't say anything about you and I making racist jokes. You said racial jokes,
Correct.
and I didn't know what he was talking about, and I said, "What are you talking about?" And then he said, "Read what he said," and I did, and I read it as you said, racist. You corrected me when you got here, and I asked you about it, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, that's weird because it does say racial, and I read it as racist after he told me it was racist." I was like, what is that's a brain that's you know like that broke my brain to a certain degree, and because we weren't making racist jokes or those are an actual thing, but like we don't make racist jokes.
No.
We will make jokes on behalf of race in general.
Correct.
Like you listen to shit music,
Hmm.
I proved that. You sidestepped it by saying I can't dance, while low key pointing to the fact that I'm white and I can't dance, which I agree with.
And a white man with taste. Boom. See?
But then I proved you wrong by just feeding you what we fed you.
But did you cook that or did
Hell no.
your dad cook that?
But he's white. White. So I mean that's 26 different flavors in that son of a bitch. Anyway, it's like goddamn Dr Pepper right there.
That barbecue, that steak. It wasn't overcooked. It wasn't chewy. It was good.
Well, you got the first batch that he had, so it's two in a package. The first one was really tough for some reason. Like they put one bad section in with a good one. But anyway, he was mad about it. But so you actually had the better one. But so like I tried to clarify it a little bit with him as to what you were referring to, but I even felt like that shouldn't be necessary. Like even if you were making racist jokes, who the fuck cares if that's what you and I do? Like that's not what we were doing. But what I used that example of the music thing, you know,
Yeah.
as what I was referring to. But it was just it's in casual conversations. Just I mean, I don't know. It's weird. So I started thinking about
It's
it.
not mean spirited asshole dickhead.
No, or even the sheriff thing was that's all based on race,
Correct.
not racist.
Exactly.
Other than like maybe on the sheriff's part in the joke
Yeah.
would be deemed racist. I don't know if you would deem
But
that whole
what-
thing as a racist
No.
joke. No, but Anyway, so I clarified that with him, but then I started thinking about other things, and um, I wonder if a lot of what like this cancel culture is about and all that is if it's other people's insecurities. And I've noticed when I talk to a lot of other liberals, you can tell like when they start, it's the terminology they use, the way they wrap things, the way they package their deliveries. I'm starting to, in retrospect, I'm thinking about it. I think a lot of this comes from their own insecurities or their own race, not racism, but like prejudice that they've experienced in their life, and so they're projecting that onto all white people,
Could be
like the people that kneel in front of white people, like
weirdos.
right. Well, so I talked to my uncle about that, who's super far left, right, and he was trying to explain why that would take place from the white person's perspective, and he's really he and a bunch of other people I know that are really far left leaning. They It's almost like they're concerned about your feelings on your behalf without knowing any black people.
Weirdos.
Does that make sense? Like it's like wait a minute, that's
Weirdos.
because if you watch some of those interviews after that whole display stops, the black people are making fun of them. As would I. Like that's some bitch made shit. Like you are not. I will not kneel to you like that in that regard. Like
I would
to
take it as Satan worship, and I probably would punch you in your fucking face.
right. Like it's not that's not a decent thing to do.
That's not
And I thought you. I don't know if you talked about it on the previous podcast or if we just talked about it in discussion, but the way you talked about how I think it was you.
David mixes up his black.
I do that sometimes. That's true. It is what it is. Did you? I think it was on the podcast. Didn't you say that the way to use quote unquote white privilege is whenever that one example where that black dude's on his knees and the cops are moving in and that white girl jumps in front of him and use power and like a strong.
No, that wasn't me, but I know what situation you're talking about.
Or did I make that up?
Yeah,
that
that was part of the joke with the sheriff.
Oh, I did. That's where I'm pulling from. I said that.
Yeah.
We talked about it after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that to me was a strong stance. Okay, so it was me that said it.
Yeah.
I was trying to give you credit for something you didn't fucking do, and I didn't get you confused with another black guy. You confused me on purpose. You fucking with me. But when that happened, like that to me, that I would have 100% do. But like not the kneeling thing. Like to me, that's just a show of like that's what they say. That's what they call pandering, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what that is. And that doesn't do anybody justice.
White people, we don't need your white guilt.
Mm-mm.
That's
Hey, that's the other thing I talked about with my liberal friends is like, dude, the white guilt thing, like, you gotta cut that the fuck off.
No, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Understand something. There's a huge difference between moving forward and going backwards. Like that shit is going backwards. I don't need for people to try to reverse be slaves, white people being slaves and whipping themselves. You know what I'm saying? The shit is fucking weird.
I didn't even want to
The
bring that
whole
up.
wash
That's
your feet
ridiculous.
and bow thing, that shit is weird. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing: we're trying to get away from subservient behavior. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit was foul.
Nice words.
So I don't need the guilt. I don't need the switching of roles. What needs to be done is actual. First of all, and let me say this because I don't believe in equality at all, and at all. Period.
What do you mean by that? Like forced equality on on the side of the government?
No,
or?
there's no such thing as equality on earth.
Well, right, I agree with that, but I'm saying, so you don't believe in the push for equality though?
I believe it's somewhat damn waste of time.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say it like this. So,
I didn't mean to cut you off and
no,
change the subject.
no, it's fine. So I look at it like this. Just think of the forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're a wolf, right?
I like where you're going.
A wolf is an apex predator.
I really like where you're going.
Correct?
Yes.
Wolf is at the top of the food chain.
Yes.
And ain't nothing in the forest fucking with it.
Wolverine. Can I be him?
Fine. Right?
Yes.
So so imagine me, let's say your dad and everybody else. We imagine we the squirrels, the beavers, and all the other little shit,
I
right?
fuck with beavers.
Right? And let's just say let's just say like your wife is the ranger. Imagine all the other little animals going to the ranger saying, "Ranger, can you tell the wolves that we want equality? We want equality, and we're gonna stand against the wolves until they give us equality." That's not how the fuck that works. That is an apex predator. So that's how silly people look.
But yeah, but if you were to take that and apply it to humans, am I still an apex predator because I'm white?
No, I was just using that because
But that's what it sounds like.
this whole equality thing is that it doesn't matter what color is at top or who's at top. The top is the top. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And the top is go eat off of all the people under it.
Like a pyramid scheme, yeah. But right, but like you
And
wouldn't you but fighting for equality, as an example, like the Martin Luther King thing, without that whole movement, what would have
that was so. We are
right?
all
'Cause that's progressive, like in the sense that we've moved on. We're way better off now than we were back then. So
have we moved on?
yeah, dude, it's night and day better now
Like
compared
what?
to
Give
then,
like
prior to then.
give me give me an example.
See this is where I feel like you're trapping me, which is fine. I respect it.
So
But here's the thing, that cop didn't pull over and shoot your bitch ass.
this is
That would have happened back then. If you had a gun like that with a white dude, that sheriff kills you. Back in 1920 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? In Texas, come on, man. Like we've gotten better. That's ridiculous. You can't say
things are just evolved.
Better.
I'm not gonna say
It's gotten better.
You got to think of was progress and what things have evolved. Because here's the thing: if we move forward,
Uh-huh.
if we've gotten better,
Uh-huh.
we wouldn't be having conversations that we could have 60 years ago. Period.
What do you mean?
We wouldn't still be having civil rights issues. Black lives would not exist. Black Lives Matter would not exist.
There's still room to improve. We're a really young country, but like in the whole scheme of things, as far as like the world,
Mm-hmm.
we are the most progressive and youngest country of all time.
This is very
We've
true.
made a lot of progress.
You can say
That's what
that.
progression means.
You can say that, but here's the thing: as the group,
Look at the difference between you and me right now,
Uh-huh.
financially.
yeah,
Can you deadlift your own weight, your own credit score? No, I can. So like that's progress, and I'm actually proud of that for you. Like that's cool.
but go to what I had to do to get that progress.
Okay, deserved. You did awesome.
Uh huh.
That's progress.
But I would have did that either way.
You couldn't have done that back then.
Why I couldn't have?
The fuck? Look what happened. That's what the Tulsa Massacre is all about. You the one told me about it. You taught me about it.
This is very true.
When was the last time Tulsa Massacre happened? Motherfucking progress, sir. I didn't even know about it. And in some way, that's a really bad thing, right? I agree with you. But it's kind of a beautiful thing that I didn't know about that.
Well, and obviously that's what I'm saying. It all depends on what you call a progress. So, what you call democratic policies. See, I will equate democratic policies and how they work,
Mm-hmm.
front end and the back end, as the same thing as something like Tulsa. It's just evolved into something totally different. Kind of like slavery, right? Slavery was ended, correct?
Mhm.
It was ended, right?
It's like
And
1800
what,
or something.
and what happened after slavery ended was what was created, prison.
It was Jim Crow stuff, right?
And all that in prison,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So prison is another form of
Right,
slavery,
right.
and that's just the definition of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the laws.
I watched
so,
the 13th or whatever.
Right. So when you say things progress, I say things just evolved into something else that we can tolerate.
Yeah, but that's a sidestep. I feel like because it is
It's
better.
not.
It is better. It's way better now.
People got
obviously,
better at tolerating
there's
or disguising it as something else.
like I'm not going to use. I don't want to say this because it's so cheap. Like, but I'm gonna have to say it to make a point. Obama is president. That's a badass thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's progress. Like that wouldn't have happened back then, prior to Martin Luther King. Right? Like that in itself is a good thing. Right? Like, I don't think anybody can deny that. Like look at like Jesse Jackson, and then now like y'all own every fucking sport. You're taking over goddamn NASCAR. You're taking over hockey. Like,
We don't own none of that.
huh?
We don't own none of it.
You don't own it, but y'all own it from as far as like, the face are kicking ass.
But we don't own it.
Okay, that's because you're like you have that boss mentality. That's some, but like
But
which is like why you're better than me as far
At
as
the end of the day,
successful. But
at the end of the day, we still the ones that's grinding the trains for upward mobility of another
well,
group.
couldn't you argue that the Mexican people are doing that more so than you?
No, I'm talking about the things you just named. If you talk about sports, right? We
Well,
don't
no,
own, we
yeah,
don't
but
own
yeah.
it. We don't own it. We don't
But that's
own
that
shit.
that's that normal trope you're talking about with conservatives and like I don't want to get trapped in that. But I'm just trying to use it as examples of progress. Like, y'all dictate the fucking fashion. Y'all dictate. Well, you also you made the argument that y'all don't benefit. Y'all benefit the least from culture. But it's still progress. The fact that you're being recognized as like the who's who of what's popping in popular culture. That's to me is progress.
No,
It's better than what it was in 1900, whatever the fuck.
No, because think about it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what time period, people at the top have always made money off black people.
more Jewish people.
Whoever's at the top. I don't care. I don't care who they are.
I just put that in there because it makes people really upset when you
Whoever's
say
at the
that.
top has always made money
That's
off
kind of
of
true.
off of black people.
Yeah, but also like the elite's gonna make put money off everybody anyway.
Correct. But who's always, well, from what we know and what we've seen normally, what's the norm is you see black people out front. You see black people out front, they the cash cows. Cash cows. Period.
Yes, but
And they own none of what
So
none of
you're-
what they bring in.
so let me understand your stance. Are you saying no progress has been made?
I'm
since
not
Martin
no,
Luther King?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it just evolved. A lot of people just think like, oh, we've progressed so much. If that is true, we would not still be having conversations that we had 60 years ago. Because here's the thing, just like the stupid ass whole thing with this whole symbolizing bullshit. These companies taking away shit, removing certain names and logos, right? So that ain't like Aunt Your Mama, the Serb, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was shit that my great grandparents was fighting.
Okay, so
So why in 2020, 60 plus years, in progress, you mean to tell me something that my great grandparents was fighting, they just not getting to?
so does that also apply to like the coal mining industry?
Yeah.
Even though like I don't know what race primarily does that, but like they've been having the same struggles for a long time.
Same thing. See, here's the thing. I don't the whole depression Olympics and everything. Like, here's the thing. The thing, wrong is wrong. And if your group has grievances against whatever, the upper line,
Right.
definitely say that shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just my group of people that struggled here.
I feel like I'm doing a shit job of arguing against you right now. And I'm just doing it for the sake of learning. But yeah, okay. I'm running out of ideas. On
So that's
how to-
all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we haven't progressed, but all I'm saying is like, if you look at the totality thing of things happen. Yes, me and you, we can sit down, we can have a conversation, and there's a lot of things that have changed.
Okay.
But I'm saying the inner workings of how shit works and the economics behind a lot of things, it ain't progressed that much at all. Like I said, why is now a company removing the logo of something that my great grandparents wanted them to remove
I heard a
60
really-
plus years ago?
I had a really I saw like the opposing just on that particular instance how that was silly in that it was a good thing that she was the quote unquote mascot. I don't know
It
much
depends
about
on
it.
where you coming from with it, but that's all.
I'm learning that I don't know fuck all about Black history and or history in general.
Mhm.
So like I try to like tread that real carefully because I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm really ignorant to all things history now. Because like whenever I watched Watchmen and realized that the whole Tulsa massacre thing was real,
Yeah.
I felt like fuck, I didn't learn shit growing up, like at all. It was like really bothersome. Like that's like right there. Like I could be there in 4 hours.
Right, and I tell people all
Or
the time,
whichever
instead
direction
of
that is.
instead of getting combative with it or taking it negatively, it's like this. You need to ask the question: why weren't you taught these things? You know what I'm saying? Why was that history hidden from you?
Well, that should be the question that's the questions I had immediately.
Yeah, that's what people need to start asking, because it's like,
Like you
don't
should get mad about that.
Yeah.
That's a moment where you can teach
don't get,
somebody.
you can't get mad at me for at black people for knowing those things or having that type or knowing that history and you didn't. It's like, no, understand what powers are working that they didn't want you to know that
Right,
information.
but I'm saying like when somebody finds a person that doesn't know that, I don't care what race they are, don't get mad about it because then you're like, oh, see, I fucking told you that, and then you have all these talking points. It's more about, oh, cool. Now you can relate because you're like, oh, this is super fucked up.
Correct.
And then you can teach them about it, and then now you have somebody that's like more on your side in regards to like all things establishment or the man or whatever. Or I guess there's
don't
one.
say the man.
The man.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of the man.
I guess.
That's patriarchy. This is why we need more women in charge. Whatever. Easy.
Oh,
What's up
I
to
have feminism coming at us.
AG the Great? What's going on? And LP, yeah, I have mostly prior to this podcast, start this podcast with one man Yancey. I didn't really mess with YouTube anymore because it felt pointless. But I do have all of our gun range clips into I've got it all compiled into one video. I just haven't uploaded it yet. I will upload it to YouTube. I figured it won't get a lot of traction. Like on Twitter, I get way more traction with a lot of the shorter 2-minute clip stuff. And then, as opposed to YouTube, like if I make a video, I tend to go straight to Twitter with it because I get a lot more traction than YouTube. YouTube doesn't really get me a whole lot of traction for some reason. It never has. So that's why I stopped fucking with it. But yeah, I'll definitely put that up there so y'all can see it. We're gonna have a whole segment, not segment, but section of the channel. Which, by the way, I'm gonna be changing the name of this channel. It's not gonna be Silver Sky anymore. It's gonna be whatever we come up with. But we're gonna do, was it Noobs of Liberty or something like that?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
I do have in a couple of about 3-4 weeks, we should go live. Cause me and my family, we are spending about like $5-6 grand on guns. We're going to buy 5-6 grand of guns.
Did you accept into that group on Facebook? You still haven't got it because I sent it up to you.
Yeah, I ain't got it.
That's what that was from today when I sent you that picture of that weird ass gun. Because they had a Hellcat for sale today.
It's because I'm black.
No, because I got invited by a black guy. That ain't it. Because I think he's the one that's in charge of it. But that's weird. Maybe I don't understand how to do it then. But either way, like, cause you're looking for like a Hellcat stuff, right?
I have one, so I want to actually get one
right.
to give my uncle, and I want to get a P365 to give my wife.
Are you talking about the full size?
No.
I get confused on which one that is.
What?
The SIG, right?
The SIG is the same, the micro gun, just like the Hellcat.
Yeah. Okay. That's the one that the military uses, right? It's like all metal. It's not poly.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I held it I think I held what you're talking about at the.
The P365 is small. It's like the size of a Hellcat.
They have a full size
version. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I held the full size version.
I believe military do SIGs.
That's what I got. That's what I almost got over the XDM Elite.
I'm Springfield guy all the way. Springfield Armory. Please reach out to us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Send us gear. Send us guns to review.
I don't know what I am guy wise or gun wise because I haven't shot enough, but I shot better I think with the CZ something or another, whatever Cecil had.
Okay.
I was like on point with that son of a bitch. Like that video I sent you of you when you first shot, like when we got there, you hit all the targets pretty much like without any issue. That's how I shot with his gun once. It was a full size CZ or something. Okay. I don't know what it was, what model, but although I feel like I'm getting there now with my Elite, but yeah, I don't know what. But you've shot enough guns where you know that XDMs are your shit.
Yeah.
Even though the gun world doesn't like you for that. All right, fair enough. But yeah, I hope them motherfuckers aren't watching. Not yet. We got like 47 views.
Oh, that's fine. Let's go grow. We gonna get there.
Scrubs.
We gonna get there.
Awesome.
It's only episode 2.
Yeah, true.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get David on the horse, right? Because me and him, we do not like horses, right?
Dude,
I think it'd be funny as hell if we did a broadcast. Fucking going to see a horse and maybe getting on one.
I don't even want to tell you this.
But I would like him to get on first.
Yeah.
Because I'm not fucking with it.
Dude, again, like, I just don't. Mother Nature you ain't supposed to mess with it. Like, I'll mess with Mother Nature if I have the upper hand. But you ain't getting no goddamn upper hand with a big ass shark-eyed horse. But okay, so they have shark eyes, straight up. Like, go look at a horse and tell me they don't have shark eyes because they fucking do. I don't even want to tell you. I really don't, because if I commit to this, I swear to God, because they'll feel the energy, dude. Like, they're gonna feel my energy, and they're gonna boot me off that something. And I swear to God, if I break my neck, I'm fucking.
What energy is you giving off, David?
Scared as shit from a goddamn horse.
Oh, I agree.
What do you? See, you're trying to take it in a different direction.
So, Pete.
But hold on, let me tell you. My wife's brother, his wife, her family owns a horse ranch. So like, and it's like right down the street. Like, we could literally make that happen like tomorrow. Like, I just don't. I really have zero desire to fuck with a horse.
I don't. I'm with him. Trust me. We share this. We share this thing. Back in Minnesota, I wanted to open up a pest control business. So I started doing pest control, just to kind of learn the ropes and get the certifications.
Oh, that's why you're not scared of spiders.
Right. And so, Pete, I was doing the Como Zoo. That's what I had to. That was part of my route. And I had to do the horses. These horses freaked me the hell out. Horses freak me out, because they just look angry.
They do.
They look.
And they have the chitlin teeth, like the big old squares, and they just look like they can just.
They look to the way they look at you. You can tell they cursing you out. They can tell you they previous lives of servitude, of humans riding them and making them work.
Have you seen the way they eat? and their lips like pulled in.
Yeah.
Like it just scares the shit
Have
out
you
of me.
ever seen another horse kick another horse? That horse dies.
Why are you talking about this?
So
Oh, I hate him.
I don't want to get kicked by a horse, and I don't want to die. And look, I respect wildlife. You understand? I don't really fuck with animals like that. I'm not the. So horses scare the shit out of me. And what's crazy, my little daughter, my 5-year-old wants me to buy her a horse, and she said, and she wants to name it Spirit.
Has she ever been around a horse?
I don't know.
That's why.
But she's being a little weird. She says, "Daddy, I want a horse.
Dude, get her a mini horse.
I want a horse, and I definitely want Spirit." She already named it.
Dude,
she
get
said,
a mini horse.
She said, "But Daddy, but you're scared of horses." That's right, baby. We don't want horses enacting revenge from a life of generations of servitude.
Dude, somebody in the comment section thought my head was on fire. Look at the screen.
Oh shit!
Don't you think I would have felt that, man? Come on now.
Y'all think I'll sit here and let him be on fire?
Yes.
What kind of weird
You
shit
also
is
said
that?
me to get on a demon machine. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, of course you let my head be on fire. Come on, man.
If he was sitting here on fire, I would not be sitting right here.
You'd be running and shit.
But understand,
Motherfucker's a
I'm out of
demon.
water though, so I couldn't help.
Oh my bad. I got water right here. Yeah, that's funny. I guess to circle back, I was like it was weird today. Like it's certain moments in life that make you feel bad. Like earlier today, I picked up my kids stayed here last night. We had the retirement party from Uncle.
Yep.
And they wanted to stay here, so they stayed here, and I went home. Well, I came back and got them today, and a black dude had picked up a bunch of shit from like Walmart, like like the big old crates that they'll ship stuff in on.
Yep.
So he had a bunch of that in his trailer, and all his straps broke, and so a lot of it went over. Like if you go, I don't think you've been down that far, but when you keep going straight until you get to my house, and it goes to like this curvy roads, and there's like a bunch of trees and shit like that. Anyway, he went around the first bend and lost his load, and so when we're driving up, another couple had pulled over. And we're getting ready to help him, so I pull over and get out. We start helping the guy. We get all loaded back up and we're strapping it back down. But he was like so taken back by it, partially because it was 4th of July, which I thought was weird. But the other part of it was just like he didn't say it, but it was obvious that it was 2 white people. Like if you're a gangster and you know who Roger Waters is, and if you don't know who Roger Waters is, you have some homework to do. But this dude looked, yeah, no, I knew you didn't know.
David's more black than I am.
No, he's not. He's white.
Oh, he's more what?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the guy that was helping him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
I should have probably said that. But the other person that was helping, he looked like Roger Waters. So he was like an older white dude. And then I'm like looking like me, all nuts. And so he was like really thankful that we were helping him. And it's like sad that even had, like I could see in his eyes, like he was just really surprised. But then on top of that, everybody that was driving by was like, "Hey, can you need some help?" It's like more and more people kept stopping and trying to help. And I want to think in my naive little brain that that's more normal than not, but I don't know if it is across the nation. But it seems like that around here. You know what I mean? Like
I haven't, like I told everybody, I haven't had a fucked up or terrible experience here in Texas.
How long you been here?
3.5 years.
That's not too terribly long.
Everybody that I've come across has been helpful.
Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I haven't came across like any dickheads.
I think maybe is that more like Alabama and Mississippi? Like maybe the whole like Southern racism thing. Maybe that's more like in other states, or I would imagine it's probably in the outer perimeters of Texas, not so much in the center. But I don't know. I don't ever come across. I mean, it's rare to come across like blatant racism or anything around here. But again, that's from my lens.
I've never experienced it. I mean, personally, that blatant real shit like that. I'm lying. My father's from Mississippi. Really, his family's down there. That's a totally different thing, though.
Does he have that that crazy accent? What is the
No.
like what's that comedian's name? The white dude with the mullet. He's fucking hilarious. Theo Vaughn. It's got like a weird. I don't know how to explain it, but.
No, you ain't get that. But yeah, I think Mississippi is kind of his own little thing. So I don't attribute that to everywhere.
All I know about.
But like I said, this shit happens. This shit happens. It is what it is.
The Mississippi's got some bomb ass food though. Oh my god.
Every time, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I've went there, especially with family, I've had some weird shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Like more Cajun, like backwoods stuff, or
No. So my family they live in Yazoo, and
Yazoo?
Yazoo.
I don't know what that is.
So I have 9 brothers, 7 sisters. All
Good
right.
lord,
Um, so my brothers are older than me.
that's way too many.
Older than me. Right. My dad would have been what 76 right now. Yeah. And everything they cook, they catch, and I mean that.
Yeah, like roadkill type shit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
So
that's not all good though.
I've had. Here's the thing: it's weird, man. When you born in the city, Chicago, and you all you know is Chicago, then Minnesota, and you go down to Mississippi and you eat food, it's a little different. Tasty, but once you find out what it is,
Oh yeah, right.
you be like, you know what? That's disgusting.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then you be want to tell them like, look, we're not in the 1800s, 1900s, early 1900s no more. We ain't got to eat like this.
You know what I think I'm doing? I think I'm fucking confusing Mississippi with Louisiana. I take it back. I take that back. I meant Louisiana.
I love New Orleans food.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, I love New Orleans.
I don't know why I was cross referencing the two.
I love New Orleans.
New Orleans is awesome, dude. I love that place.
I told my wife I went down there. For the first time 2 years ago. I almost wanted to call home and tell her I wasn't coming back.
No man, you can't live there, bro. You bitching about this weather? That shit sucks over there.
This is true, but
Dude, it's like 900% humidity.
this is true.
You walk into it like a blanket of just ass.
But I'm good with Arizona. You got and I spent a lot of time.
That's
in
dry,
I spent a lot of time in Ghana too,
Ghana?
Africa. My father's a Ghanaian.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah,
What part of Africa? Like what? Like
that's
North?
west. That's west.
west?
Ghana.
Okay. Like close to the ocean, or is it still in the center?
Yeah, no, it's the ocean. It's
Okay.
over there.
So you've been there before?
Gulf.
How long is that flight?
Depends on where you're going, taking off from.
Ugh. I don't
Either
like-
way,
I don't like planes
I
either.
we always end up stopping in New York first.
Mm. I don't like flying. I'm too hyper for that shit. I get real antsy. Mm.
You go to sleep, you eat, you watch movies.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, man. I don't like it. I can't.
Wait, have you never been out of the country?
I drove to Canada once. Does that count? I've been to Mexico. Yep, I've done that.
Have
But
you been out
Nope.
you on a plane
No.
out of the country?
Hell no. And that's the main reason why. Well, outside of money, I don't know if I could do it or would want to. I can't stand planes, bro. Like I don't. When if I was in this chair and you're like, hey, you can't really get up for the most part, like I'm out.
International flights ain't like that though.
I know you can get around and move around and shit, but not really.
And, the seats are
And I
so
can't
low.
date. I mean, I still do. You know, I do.
Oh, you trying to go to prison?
I know, but like, dude, I don't know. I'm not with it. Like, I would love to go to Australia.
Wait, so you haven't taken your wife, if you're still watching, you haven't taken your wife out of the country somewhere?
No, bro. I've been poor for a very long time. Very, very long time. Yeah. Dude, her and I haven't had a vacation in over 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, when I tell you the struggle is real, I am not joking. Like, yeah, no,
Interesting.
I've never done that. We might be going to Mexico soon because I do not work with, he's getting married down there.
But y'all got passports.
No. What's the point when you got no fucking money? You ain't going no goddamn where. Like, but I'm also second guessing that too because of all the cartel nonsense and shit. And he's Mexican, he'll be fine. But like, my white ass, they'll think I'm rich. And I'll be like, hey, we're getting your ass for ransom. You just done fucked up. the guy that gets me has got more money in his pocket than I do. You know what I'm saying? Oh man.
They call your dad, you like, look, I got some taco.
I'm real good at cooking. Oh man. Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, it's real sad more than anything. But yeah, no. I don't like fucking with planes. She's not a big fan of flying. She's not a big fan of water. So thankfully I got lucky because she don't like flying over water.
Hey, y'all gotta get the fuck out of here, man.
I would love to like travel or do something, but yeah, that's what I told you. My circle's really small. I told you that. This man, look.
Speaking of planes, that's my my connect Delta. I used to work for Delta too. Free flights.
What'd you do? Did you do the baggage or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
bag up the planes. When I first moved down
That
here,
sounds like a fun job.
when I first moved down here, I was going back home a lot. And me, I don't care how much money I bring in. I'm a very frugal person. I refuse to keep wasting money. So how can I combat that? I work for the airlines. Free domestic flights. You just pay taxes internationally. Went everywhere.
Yeah, I've only been to Mexico and as far as out of the country. Like if I had a chance to go to Alaska, I'd rather drive there.
Yeah.
Which I just found out recently that you can even drive to Alaska. That's how dumb I am. I had no idea that shit was connected to anything.
You should definitely try to get on the airlines. Go everywhere.
I don't think I'm trying to work for airlines though. To be honest with you, I'm not. I don't do very well with authority and telling me to do dumb shit.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
But it all depends on your intentions and the strategy behind it.
Yeah. True.
See, we was building my family. We were building a business, so everybody within my household and my parents, they fly free. Or my mother, she wants to lie. They fly free, so we was using that to build business in other states.
That's wild. Yeah, I haven't been in very many places at all. I mean, I've been all over the United States, but I haven't been. That was when I was growing up, though. Not my adult life. Mm-hmm.
See, that's how I got into cars.
Was from what?
Traveling.
Oh, to where? Like what?
I went over to Italy. I went to Germany because I wanted to get on the Autobahn.
Oh, right.
I really
Is that why you fell in love with goddamn Volkswagens?
Yes, because
That
like
trip?
so when you go over there, like Volkswagens is like like the Mercedes. The Mercedes are the taxis,
Right.
and the Volkswagens are.
That's weird.
You know what I'm saying? And I just
That's weird.
I've always just kind of been drawn to them.
Right.
And then when I found out they own part of Lamborghini, and then it was a Rolls Royce, I believe, I was just like, oh, this shit is.
Yeah, that was more recent.
And Audi. I was like, this is my shit right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, so yeah. That's why I like Volkswagens.
You haven't driven it over here. I haven't seen it yet.
No, because the damn motor's out of it.
Oh, I also want to see the. Is it a 60 model Impala that's on your?
62.
That's one on your header on Twitter? I want to see that. That motherfucker's evil looking. That thing is evil looking.
I love low ride.
God damn, that thing is badass looking. That's right. That's how I first talked to you. I saw that.
Yeah. Man,
that motherfucker's evil looking. And you have several of them things. You have two El Caminos or three? Three. Do you even run?
Yes.
I like those a lot too. I've never been in one. I like those a lot. Do you have any of them that have the Mexican throw blanket over the seats?
No.
Why not? It's a must. You have to do that.
Well, they low riders.
Right, but one of the same. Like, are you serious? Like, you didn't know that was a thing?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, you got some homework now. You're gonna love it. Like, go look at the way people do that shit. You know what I'm talking about though, right? The Mexican blankets, the patterns. Like you'll see them as ponchos most of the time, but like when that's done on the seats, it's unreal. Like it's so sick looking. Yeah, and you gotta get the little dangly things off the ceiling around the outside of it. You gotta make it kind of Mexican. You gotta pay homage to it. You're doing it wrong. You're doing hot rods wrong. Just like you're doing rap wrong. You listen to the wrong ones.
Those are high rise though.
Yeah, but you put your own swag on it. But I'm saying that you're contributing, or you're paying homage to it. Yeah. Like okay, so instead of having like Mexican beads, you'll have like African color beads. Like that'd be so sick.
I got that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got the black, green, and red.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's cool. Yeah. All right, so you're semi there.
Yeah.
Right now, you're still kind of doing it wrong. My kids just got here.
Oh.
Hello. They're so overly excited about this. All right, fair enough. What was it? Some of the other stuff I had tagged you on?
Let's see. Give me a second.
God dang, we should have wrote this shit down or take screenshots like you said.
I took screenshots.
Oh well, yeah, after the fact.
You wanted to discuss that Terry Crews thing?
Yeah, because I'm kind of like confused about. Well, real quick. So you said is that pure CBD?
Yes.
No nicotine or anything?
No.
Damn, how do you not fall asleep? CBD knocks me the hell out.
For me, it's about my joints.
Oh, well, I guess yeah.
Yeah, so it takes the stress and the.
It's just like really relaxing, but it'll make you fall asleep. That's weird.
I deal with What is that shit when you can't sleep?
Insomnia?
Yeah, real bad.
That's because you ain't working hard enough.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Even after you kill it, like in the gym or something?
Even if I have a if I kill it in the gym, I play ball.
You still,
If I work in the garage.
is it because your brain keeps going?
Yeah, I can't shut it off. I try to do. I did 2 sleep studies. I
It,
cannot.
and that don't help either?
No. What helps me go to sleep, to be honest, is liquor and sex.
Well, yeah, but okay. So what about? Have you ever tried ZMA?
No, I don't take white people drugs.
That's not like a drug.
Anything.
Maybe it probably is, but it's not a drug though. It's a supplement.
No, I ain't taking that shit.
It's for recovery. Like it's really good to have, especially like when you start doing CrossFit with me.
Mhm.
You're gonna need that shit because it helps speed up the recovery process. But the benefit of it is that it helps you fall asleep. Now there are side effects. The side effect is you have vivid ass dreams. It depends on how crazy your mind is. That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
That'd be a bad thing.
But it also doesn't affect everybody that same way. But,
Right.
But
So
I would really stress trying that because it's really good.
I've tried Benadryl. Benadryl works.
Yeah, that's more of a knockout. That's not a true sleep.
Right. I've tried that. Didn't really work too much. I've this shit's supposed to make you go to sleep.
Yeah, it didn't work for you.
Don't work for me. Even
Have you ever smoked it out like the actual plant base?
No.
I'll give you some. I got
somebody
some.
told me to try like that rub shit or even try to do edibles one day.
Yeah. If that ain't working for you, those won't work. But actually smoking the actual plant might. So I got some, not with me, but I'll hook you up next time I see you, and then try that. I even got a pipe, so I'll hook you up with that. See if that works. That actually works better for me as far as sleeping than the plant one. But the plant one will even work better on your joints too.
Because like even like every daily, I get probably 4 hours of sleep, no matter what.
Really? You could just operate that way. It's not.
I've been it's been that way for a long time.
All right,
it don't matter what the fuck
I kind of just want you to take some CMA. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it is. Just to see what. Yeah, so you can be mad at me about your dreams. That excites me. So yeah, back to Terry Crews. I'm gonna play. I always say the second part of this wrong. Devil's advocate.
Okay.
He's not saying anything inherently wrong. So I understand the uproar over it because like today's post that he made was putting white people in a positive light, but then he said, "Are all black people good?" He said, "No." "Are all white people bad?" No. So like he put the white people as a positive and then the negative towards the black people. So I get it, but what he's saying, but if you read past that, everything he's saying is not a whole lot different than what you say. Ultimately, when you read all of his more recent tweets that made people mad at him, he's not really saying much different from what you're saying. But it's shorter form. It's not a long term. It's not a long form conversation like this. But like he's saying it in snippets. But please go on.
So you're right. Like the message he's overall saying
Right.
is really no different than what I say.
Right.
Or whatever. I just don't provide cover for anybody when I do it. Or
yeah, because that's what he's doing.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's the irritating part with any of that. Because here's the thing, even with Candace Owens,
Right.
it's a lot of shit that I agree with.
Right.
That is true.
It's the wording.
It's the word, the message, and the cover. Because it's like here's the thing: be balanced. That's the thing. That's the balance. Balance is key. I don't care what your stance is. I don't care who you don't like. I don't care what your grift is. I don't care any of that. At least have some balance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That way we can't nobody say you being biased. Can't nobody point out nothing wrong really.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You call a spade no matter what it look like. On either side. On every side. Judge everybody the same.
So, and I'm gonna roll this back into earlier you're talking equality and how there's no like the whole fight for equality is stupid. What's the point of doing this then?
What?
What we're doing right now.
This is called humanity.
Right, but you don't have any misconceived notions that this, like, obviously not with us necessarily, but like anybody that has a bigger platform, you just think trying to talk about equality is just it's just a grift at this point. Like, 'cause you know nothing's gonna happen.
It's a pattern.
Pandering.
Because here's the thing, how I look at it, this equality thing. You know what? Maybe it's more of an irritation on my part, because it's like it's seriously it's stalled hope. And the Bible talks about that. You know
Stalled hope.
Yeah, hope delayed.
Mm-hmm.
So just like when you say things are better, right? It's
Right.
better. That's easy to say when you're not the group that's been on the bottom fighting for the better.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like that. Like I told you. So in 2020, now this syrup company wants to change what my great
Right, which
grandparents
is a
are fighting.
great point because it makes it hard sometimes to relate. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got to try to relate in order to have a constructive conversation, especially if you have opposing viewpoints. So when I'm sitting across the table, and even this is like an elitist thing, like if you're doing better than I am, now I'm a little different because I put a lot of the blame on myself, but like aside from that, you're at a better stance than I am from a successful, more based on financial situation. Um, so it's like when I'm arguing of the point of equality has worked out better, more so than it hasn't. It's like it takes a little bit of working in my brain while also trying to still hear you out and soak it in from a podcast standpoint. Uh, to try to relate to that because even though I know that I can't base everything off me. It's anecdotal. You got to look at it from a whole, and so it gets kind of hard to relate in that regard because I know that you're doing way better than I have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that with everything. So like what that stance is true because I haven't experienced it with your lens on, but because it's impossible. But outside of like where I've been in situations where it was like a party or whatever where I'm at an all black party and I'm the one white guy,
Yeah.
I can experience it then. I can relate that way, but which I always had great experience in that regard. But I was using that as an example. So anyway, yeah, with the Terry Crews thing, it makes sense because like you're seeing it way differently than I do.
Yeah.
And so I have to try to remember that when I read that because I saw a bunch of people getting mad about it.
Because
And I was like,
his whole black supremacy, or black guys being better. That's stupid. Do you know how far we would have to actually progress and come for even that to be even a thought of black supremacy?
yeah, because like, it's kind of like going back to the boss thing. Because yeah, it makes sense.
The roles, economically, the money would have to change hands. From the beginning of this country's origins, you know what I'm saying? The money has
Right.
been in the same place it's been in.
Right. That's what when you on the last podcast you referred to that as old white money, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
So if we talking black supremacy, we talking about that money starting to change hands.
Right.
That's not gonna ever happen.
Right. Well, I don't know. Does it have to displace others though for that to happen? I don't. Or can y'all just rise past?
We talk about supremacy here.
Right, but I'm saying like because right now if you look at like a boardroom of a Fortune 500 company,
Mhm.
and let's say there's 20 board members.
Yep.
They might like 18 of them are white dudes, and then one woman and one black guy, right? Like wouldn't it just have to be more black people involved at that level before it would? It doesn't necessarily have to be like a displacement, but
Yeah,
more
that's,
rise.
That's what I'm saying. That shift will have to start really happening.
I wonder if that's
all
happening.
of that.
I don't know. I'm wondering if that's happening.
Well, I know it's not in the tech world.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's like with anything, like or let's say ownership when it comes to sports. How many?
Fuck, I don't know.
You gotta think
There's,
how many.
there's some basketball teams that are black owned, right? But aren't they even shared? Aren't those
Yeah.
shared?
Yep, that's group economics.
Yeah.
That's entertainers and everybody coming. Jordan is the only black guy that owns his team. Period.
I didn't know he owned it. I thought even he shared it.
At one point he did, but he bought the shares.
Oh, okay.
So otherwise,
So there is a little progress there,
because he was part owner of the Wizards,
right?
but he had to sell his ownership to play, and then they wouldn't let him back in.
Damn, no, that's crazy.
You see- so what I'm saying is like even sports, like let's say baseball. You know what
Or
I'm saying?
sport in history.
So baseball, how many black owners you think is in baseball?
Don't know. Fuck that sport. Keep going.
Zero.
Good. Y'all dodged the bullet.
They wouldn't even let Magic Johnson come in as a group.
Really?
Yeah, because he wanted to buy the Dodgers.
Damn. That's crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. So for his statement to
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
become true, all that will have to start shifting and start changing. that you would think 13% of the population becoming that type of.
it. So I was being devil's advocate because you can clearly see him wording things a certain way on
Right.
purpose. Like
On
who's he trying to appease? Hollywood in general, I guess. Yeah, I guess it'd have to be because that's who writes the checks. So, but I would think right now, currently, presently, he could go out more on the limb right now and be okay because cancer culture's not going after people like that right now.
Oh, black folks been trying to cancel him forever.
Really?
Once he started down this whole.
Is that more recent though? I don't know.
Yeah, once he started down this whole thing he doing, yeah, it
I
was
don't think black people are
unpopular.
in control of cancel culture though, right? Isn't it? Isn't
Cancel
it?
culture is kind of stupid.
Well, 100% I agree.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just hold on to the fact I just like it since
like they trying to cancel with J.K. Rowling now.
yeah.
Weird. That shit is weird. Here's the thing: let people have their opinions. Whatever her stance is on that, what they trying to cancel her for is stupid. It's like you can't have an opinion, you can't have a preference, you can't have anything now that's go it's upset some other group,
Right.
especially if that group has economic and political strength.
Well, let me ask you this in regards to like the whole alphabet stuff. Um, is it easier for you to relate to their struggles?
No,
Don't anything kind of similar?
no,
You don't think so?
no.
I are you why?
What's similar about it?
Well, the minority, for one, they're a much smaller group than you guys are, as far as numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we're told. Um, there were laws on the books that for years that discriminated against them. There's still laws that kind of somewhat discriminate against them under the guise of religion. Um, I couldn't name off all the stuff, but there's apparently a plenty of it to choose from. I don't know them all, but I just figured I always found it odd that the black community didn't weren't one of the first groups to back them.
Because you can't co-opt what are the journey of black people with that.
Not necessarily co-opted, but like when there was a big push for legalizing gay marriage across the nation and all that, I would think that that the black community would have like, oh yeah, fuck these white people, let's do this, because that's ultimately what it was. It's like conservative white people holding it back.
But black people are more Christian,
Right? Yeah, I knew that was part of it. I knew that was part of it.
and
Ultimately,
so that
I
that
still don't
that
understand that either.
that doesn't go in that.
But why does it not go though in regards to the Bible?
Oh, you definitely don't want to go that. Don't ask
Well,
me
like
that.
what I'm asking, like when that's brought up as a form of like saying, hey, we don't think this is right, what are they referring to? Because I don't know. I truly don't. I don't know what the Bible says about gay people.
Should be with a man should be with a woman. A woman should be
Just
with a
that
man,
line in itself.
pretty much. And it's just it weighs heavy, I think, on people's morals, how they was raised.
Yeah, I guess I don't see a moral dilemma in it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you was raised in church, it's not something that you would kind of gravitate to. But there's a lot of hypocrisy in church too, when it comes to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even start like
So-
with like wearing two different kinds of cloth and all that. Yeah. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a lot of hypocrisy in church.
And they're
when it
and they're
comes
and they're like in the Bible kind of heavily pro-slave too, in certain parts of it.
Yeah, First Testament.
They don't specify a race or anything, but it's in there.
Yeah.
Hold on real quick. So we got comments. People saying, yeah, the first parts of his tweets are okay, referring to Terry Crews, but the Candace Owen levels of his tweets on the last parts, they're crazy. Yeah. So that's yeah. I mean, I saw that was to me it was blatantly obvious, but to a lot of tunnel visioned what I call Hollywood conservatives, they don't see that. They see an ally or a pawn.
And that's what either
And that's the bad part that you're
so
talking about.
that's what either faction, like we could say Hollywood types, we could say liberals, we could say conservatives. All you have to do is step into that vein of where the majority and what you think
Right.
would they would definitely agree with
Right.
on how they go about things. I'm telling you, got a niche. You getting a paycheck. That check gonna keep coming. You getting a following just off of that. All you
Yeah.
gotta do is say get in the right vein and say the right thing around the right people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a soft spot for Terry Crews, and from one moment in cinema, on White Chicks, when he's at the rave and he's doing the robot with whistles, it's probably one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. Like at the time, because I was delirious and I smoked a little, dude, I would died. It was like it was So I have like a soft spot like where I want to defend the guy. Plus, I have a lot of respect for his physique. Like that dude's worked his ass off for that. For
What's
what
crazy is people crack jokes about it, but it's honest to true. It's like he's becoming that character.
What do you mean?
The character he played in White Chicks.
I don't even remember what the character was in White Chicks.
Were you that hot?
Yeah, bro. Like,
so if you watch White Chicks and you look at his character and you see the character he played.
He wasn't in it very much, was he? I don't remember being in it very much.
White Chicks?
Yeah,
he has a decent part in it.
Does he?
I'm saying that you just look off the part that he played in the character he played. That's what he's becoming right now. That's what he's coming. That's what it's seeming like to us.
Okay. No, yeah, I wouldn't argue that. I'm just letting you know why I'm not even trying to defend him because I understood what everybody's saying.
Because I'm optimistic about all these people, right? I'm like, damn, because it's hard for me to just give up on people.
Right.
Right.
That's a good thing though.
So when even with me disagreeing with these people we talking about, right? Because I just think they're probably just idiots that just grift and just harp on people's prejudices,
right?
For clout and for checks, right? A part of me wants to believe like these people still human and they just one day they're gonna be like, hey, y'all know what that was,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't mean that shit, but it was a good payday.
Right.
I'm hoping, like I always say, hope a lot. Like if you seen the YouTube with Brandon Tatum was on the thing with Hotel.
I saw clips of it. I watched the first half, but I didn't finish the back half. But I saw the clips though.
And you saw when he got pissed off, right? And so
I didn't know why he got mad though.
So me and a lot of us we said like, oh shit, Brandon's really black.
I do remember that.
Cause it's like
I do remember that.
And so when it's like damn, okay, because this is the first, and when it's a catch-22 because why do we attribute that to being black? That what he did, he said,
his inflection of voice, other than being like agitated, but the way he sounded was different.
Correct, right? And we like, wow, because it's not what he. If you go to his platform,
right?
If you go to his YouTube channel and all that stuff,
it's not like that.
It wasn't that.
It's the white voice.
He wasn't at that moment. He wasn't placating. You know what I'm saying? It was like this is
more genuine. At that point.
And so it's like, damn, okay, all right.
Which is why I felt like Hotep just kind of sat back with just like this straight look on his face. So I saw some people saying he was scared. I didn't take it that way. I took it as like he was digging his own hole at that point.
That's like what we gonna do. We're getting a shouting match on Zoom.
Yeah,
fuck out here. Yes.
Somebody said that. Do you mean it's tough to hear like us? You need to clarify that for me, please, because if we need to put the headset
on. Volume or what? What are we talking?
Yeah, because we have the headset off because it's hot as shit out here, so we're trying not to be super hot. Yeah, somebody said it says how to treat your slave in the Bible, etc., etc., etc.
Oh, okay.
It's also kind of womanizing to the times and all that too. Like, yeah, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic. Whole different down. That's going down the whole.
That's a whole like dedicated podcast.
Now we probably get a lot of follows off of
this. Well, I'm also I don't know. I know enough just like talking points kind of, but I don't know like a deep amount to where I could get myself in some intellectual trouble trying to debate it, or even argue for or against something. But in regards to LGBT, I can't remember all the letters, but the alphabet stuff. So yeah, I knew that the Christian background, or the foundation rather, was what was part of the cause of that. But it just seemed like it would help advance minority groups in general, pushing back against that. But I know I've always been for gay marriage. To me, it never made sense why anybody would care about that. But I've listened to a lot of different people's, like basically off YouTube, not so much in real life, but like Ben Shapiro's take on it, which is I guess probably more in line with I guess the general black population's concern, which is it the nuclear family, right? So you take that concept, and if you allow the gay marriage thing to take place, I guess in his eyes, are the people that believe like that, they aren't going to raise that child right, I guess. And then there's a slippery slope attached to it as well, to where like now you got so that's okay now. So now we're going to get to where now we're the transgender part, but then there's also a small movement of people trying to get pedophilia to be part of that.
Yep.
You're already seeing that movement take place.
Yeah.
There's not very many hills I'll die on, but I'll die on that hill. and I'll be all for it. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that a label because as soon as you start labeling these people like, oh, I'm a P, oh, cool, put you on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't. I'm super against anything related to hurting children.
Sure. Correct.
Period. Period. So like, um, there's a tad echo. Okay. All right. Thanks, babe. Anyway, is that the fear? Like I don't know. Like what's the pushback?
You was talking to your wife, right?
Yeah, just then.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Good. Wait. Pause. Right.
Lord.
Yeah, because we were talking about we were talking about alphabets, and then I went into saying, yeah. I was reading the comments. My wife.
Thanks, babe. What the fuck are you talking?
Dang. That's gonna be. I hope somebody makes a clip of that. That's fucking funny. That is hilarious. But no, I mean, I feel like the part of this too is it's kind of like what I was talking about with these super far leftist white people that are out here like outraged. I feel like a lot of those people don't know the group or know anybody in that group that they're outraged for. In the same way that like conservatives don't know a lot of gay people and they're the ones that are against it. Because if you ever hang out with a gay couple, like they're awesome. Like I don't have any issues with them at all. I've never met a transgender person, I don't think. But and that one's a little harder to wrap my brain around, honestly.
I'm gonna say this, in my personal opinion, gay people have more fun than straight people.
That's
They
true.
do. They do.
But that's also kind of true. It's kind of a culture thing because, like, my wife and I went to a black New Year's party several years ago.
Okay.
That shit was amazing. Like, especially for somebody like me, like who can't dance, and that's all y'all were doing was dancing. And I was like, oh, this is a nightmare in that regard. And my wife too, she's not very good at dancing either. So we had fun with the idea that like they knew we weren't gonna be able, no matter even if we were okay in our circle, we were gonna suck compared to everybody else that was there, you know.
Yeah.
So we just had fun with it, but like, yeah, it's like those people they're not surrounded, they've never been acclimated to that group, and so like, I feel like a lot of their prejudice comes from just the unknown, and they fear of the unknown, right?
Or guessing what we would be
Yeah.
upset about.
Right. Not just like y'all, but like just the gay community, because all the gay people I know are awesome.
Excuse me. This is my daughter.
Uh
And if I don't answer, she's gonna keep calling back. Yes, baby. Yes. Yes, I'm with my friend.
She FaceTiming you?
Yeah. See, that's him.
Hello. I'm gonna scare her.
Yeah. So I'm doing this video right now. So I'm gonna call you back, okay, baby? Okay. All right. Bye, baby.
You have a 1-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old, right?
Yeah.
You posted a photo with both. I thought both of them looked older than that though.
5 and 1. So 18-year-old, 14, 11, 5 and 1.
The 11-year-old is also a boy.
The first three is boy.
Right. Okay. But that you posted a photo. There was a daughter in front and a daughter behind you.
Yeah.
They both look older than 1 and 5 though.
The one in front is 1. My older daughter, the other one in the back is 5.
Really? I thought she was. Oh, okay. The one in the front, she looked like she was like 3 or 4 for some reason. The way I'm remembering it, anyway. All right.
Perspective. When it comes to photography.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's down here.
Yeah, that makes sense. So okay. So yeah, I just feel like if more people were acclimated to these groups that people are against, it would be easier to like, oh, this doesn't really matter. Except for the transgender part, I get hung up on because like they as in Google, like just the leftist society that controls media, go back and change definitions. Like transgender is an actual, it's a what they call it, gender dysphoria, right, or whatever they call it. It was an actual issue that they
Are you trying to
diagnosed.
get us canceled?
I'm just telling you honestly, like, so I don't have a problem with transgender people or anything like that. It's just there's an issue, and I'm not saying issue in a negative way. I'm just saying there's something there that causes them to have all the pain that they have. So, like when people get all up in arms about the military and stuff, it's like, well, yeah, but that also applies to anybody that has any kind of mental issues. Like you can't join the military if you're bipolar. It's the same thing to me. Like, and I don't mean that because a bipolar person, I'm not gonna be ugly to them or take away their rights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean it like that. I just mean there's a reason why the military, they only try to let the elite in for a reason, you know, like, and so I never quite, so I'm on the fence with the transgender thing in that regard, sort of, not from a right standpoint or laws, but like necessarily. But then you have the medical side where they're like, you can't discriminate, but it's like, yeah, but then y'all tried to sue the hospital for wanting to do a prostate exam because you identify as a woman, but you have a prostate, so then you can die, and then the family can sue you for not checking the prostate. Like you see, what I'm saying there's some issues there that need to be addressed. So I'm still on the fence with that portion, but uh, I was just more curious as to why the black community as a whole it seems to be pushing back against it. I'm seeing a swing though to where it's getting a little bit more
Because
lenient.
a lot of these things, and this could be just my perspective, or how I see things. When it comes to these movements and these groups, they always media whoever it is, they always end up targeting or pointing at the black community. It's always a
I did not see that coming.
it's always a us versus them type of thing.
I never saw that coming. Okay,
That's
so
why
give me
like
examples.
so okay, so even like with the LGBT thing
Mm-hmm.
is within the black
Oh, like the
you know,
Black Trans Women Matter thing.
all of that. It's like, you know what? It's like cis black men, cis black women.
Right.
We don't like gay black people. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's not. That's not. That's more. That's probably true in a lot of in a lot of instances. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's just like so we start to it starts. It comes with things like this. So are you black or are you gay? Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, we're trying to move forward, but it's like we sit here butting heads. Black people, period. Gay black people,
Right,
and
right.
straight black people are butting heads, and we're warring within each other. And it's like, fuck. Can we?
I get
Let's just move forward together. It's like, it's like it comes to a thing where it's like, shit. It's this.
Who causes that division though?
I would say both sides.
Oh, okay.
I would say both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, damn. I would, me personally, I don't give a fuck. I don't care
Right.
who you choose to love, who you choose to
Right.
fuck. You know, I don't care.
Right.
You see, at the end of the day, especially it's like if we all part of the same group, just like I'm not a person who breaks up black people. It's a lot of people who sees me as actually biracial,
I don't understand.
African and black.
Oh,
My father's African, my mother's Black American.
really?
Yes.
But you wouldn't know that from the outside looking in though.
Right. So a lot of people within, especially on the African side, see me as biracial, and within the black community. When I say black community, I'm talking about
Right.
everybody, all
Right.
black people, right? But within black community, it's broken up. They break themselves up into groups themselves within their ethnicities, of African versus African American,
And then you also have the whole skin part, like the light.
colorism,
Yeah, colorism. That's what
shit
you
like
call
that.
it.
And so it's like we keep breaking ourselves down, weakening ourselves, and and this is a reason why all these other little groups, when you can say feminine, they like the whole feminism thing, how they,
Right.
where you can say that whatever feminism comes from, you know what I'm saying? They attribute it to supremacy, or, you know,
Right.
whatever. They attribute a lot of things to supremacy, including the gay community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? And so it's easy to infiltrate and separate black people as a whole.
So you didn't mean that from like outside sources. You're just saying within the community.
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't see, I didn't I couldn't find the correlation because I was thinking about it from that perspective. Like I was thinking about it from Hollywood News, CNN, and all that. I never saw it from
And,
that
and everybody makes this play. Well, I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if you're Hollywood, you left or right. I think anybody who knows economics, who knows human behavior
Right.
of groups, you can infiltrate the black community and separate them very easily.
And this is a sidebar question. Does Don Lemon contribute to that in a negative way?
He's down.
I don't know.
He's down limit, so he rubs the other side the wrong way. And
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's you always go have whatever stance you take, you gonna experience negative and positive.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Don Lemon just have to be. He just happens to be gay and he's left. What is really weird is these people who search just words like I told you before, especially the black ones, or even even the Hispanic ones. They have these issues with equality and all this.
He's married to a white dude.
and they all married to white people.
It's true. Um,
Very strange.
the this doesn't really pertain to the conversation in its entirety, but I had a short stint with a black gay dude. I was selling Ford cars. It was probably one of the highlights of my life. This dude was so fucking hilarious. He was. The gay community gets confusing, but like he would dress more like a woman, but not. So he wasn't like not like a drag queen, not to that extent, but just more feminine.
Yep.
Like instead of wearing like a button-up shirt, he wore like a blouse. If that makes sense. But he had like Louis Vuitton purse, and like one day he had some kind of like Gucci shoes, like some kind of really high-end shoes. Like they were just super expensive. You could just tell. And it started to rain, and a customer pulls up, and a lot of black people will put grocery bags around their shoes and tie them up, right, which is normal. But he did it, and the way he did it, or he was trying to do it, and the our boss is like, you got to get out there and go greet him. And he was like, and he's like really flamboyant. No, honey, like you're gonna wait for me to put these gosh darn bags on my feet. And they got mad at him. Said, look, if you're not gonna go out there right now, you're fired. And like there's this big ass like yelling match, right, and on the showroom floor. But the way he just got so like sure of himself and angry, but it was also like, I'm not going back out there. So he ended up quitting and just sat there for another 5 hours waiting for the rain to stop. Like it was the most, and the whole time just trying to fuck up everybody's deal, like while being loud and and this. Oh my god, it was the most. That part, he was. I wish I stayed in contact with him. That dude was fucking hilarious. Sidebar conversation had nothing to do with anything. I just remembered it and it's fucking funny. I love that guy. He was hilarious. But yeah, he was. He had talked about it a lot because that was in DeSoto, so it's right down the street, and he was having a hard time making sales, like bad. Like the black community did not like dealing with him. He did really well with middle-aged white couples, which was strange. But yeah, the black community would not fuck with him. As soon as he walked out and they saw him with his purse and stuff, they would just beeline to somebody else. Very strange. I found it very odd.
Black folks have their preferences, and
Y'all don't give a fuck either. Like y'all would just, or at least over in DeSoto, they didn't give a shit. They were just gonna keep on going.
well, getting some people got to the point on my side, on my group, where it's like they're not asking for agreement, they're not asking for acceptance. It's like we are who we are. And it's the same thing with the LGBT community. At this point, it's like we are who we are.
Right.
It is what this is it. There's no more need for us to placate to you or make ourselves more presentable.
Well, how do you feel about is it Dwayne Wade
Yeah.
in that whole situation? I saw there's a lot of controversy around that.
It's not what I would personally do, me personally. But I don't. When it comes to parenting, I'm not fit to get into people's business like that. How he decided to parent his child and love his child, that's his business. At the end of the day, I can't say if I would. I can't say I would. I wouldn't do that. But
I just wonder in those scenarios, is that? I just don't. I mean, it's probably coming out of pure ignorance, but I just don't feel like I'm trying to remember my past growing up. So I just don't recall that being a thing that was in a child's mind in that way, because there's been like sure I knew some people were gay. Like it was obvious, but I wonder if these parents nowadays, because you're starting to hear more about trans kids, I feel like that's partially because of media. Like putting it out.
so you think it's a trend? Part of it's a trend.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I wonder. I want to say I wonder. I don't want to have a hard stance on it. I question the whole thing because the more you put that out there, is it going to confuse kids more that could possibly just have been gay, and now they're walking down this block because now people are like, oh, let's do hormone blockers, and now you're literally changing the chemical makeup of a human.
I have duality in that. Here's the thing. I'm more of a live and let live person, right? So it's like in one side, I'm okay with folks being open and seeing and experiencing new things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what they choose to do.
Even with children, that's where I get hung up on.
So right. So that's what I'm saying. That's my part of my duality. So it's like okay. With that, even on my duality, the other part of that is like let kids be kids.
And they're impressionable too.
Right, they're impressionable, and is a reason that we know that kids don't make the greatest decisions.
Right.
Right, so it's like something like that is huge. So it needs to be parented instead of me being your friend. But with that, in the same thing, it's like it almost feels like I'm a hypocrite when I say that because I'm big on on government overreach and
Mm-hmm.
oversight.
Right.
I hate oversight.
Right.
I hate government overreach.
Right.
Right. But what? So who am I to say that these children they need oversight in that manner? Because to say that they're less smart, they're less intelligent, their brains
Yeah,
aren't
that's not
properly.
quite the same though, because when what the government's doing is more towards it's placating towards adults, not children.
But in a simplistic way,
Yes, but
in a simplistic way, you are the government to your children.
yeah, I know.
You see,
And
and maybe that's me overthinking it. But I come to that road that fork in the road like that all the time. And at the end of the day, I have to, when it comes to my children on certain things, I instead of a friend, I'm a dictator.
I feel like I don't want to be. I don't want to. I never want to give the government more power than they already have because once they get it, they won't ever let it go,
Uh-huh.
and they want more. That's what it seems like anyway, and that's what history says. But when it comes to children, sometimes I feel like there has to be sanctions in place because you can't rely on stupid people. And I'm not saying a parent that is dealing with a child is a stupid parent. That's what I'm saying. Because there's a dude that he makes. Did you remember back in the day when PlayStation first came out, Twisted Metal,
Mm-hmm.
that game? So
Love that game.
dude, when that game, the guy that created that, his name is David Jaffe, and I was on his podcast a while back, several months ago, and he has a transgender child, and we had a conversation about it. It started on Twitter, but then he took it online, right? So he invited me on to talk about it. It was a really good conversation. It kind of opened my eyes to the whole thing, but so he has some really good points and stuff, and that's why I'm saying I'm coming from a place of ignorance. But I just feel like if you're an adolescent and you start going down that hormone blocker path, a whole lot can change in a few years. I feel like maybe it shouldn't be allowed until they're at least 18. I would argue 25 from the
No, I will
brain.
argue. I agree with 25.
You know what I mean?
Because you're
Well,
still trying to figure a lot of shit out.
well,
A lot of shit.
it's the way the brain develops. I
Yeah,
mean,
and a lot of shit changes literally from 17. And I would say
yeah,
for me, shit was changing up until probably I was 29.
dude, women, right? In particular, like I went through this with my wife. I saw a bunch of my friends go through it, and they actually lost their relationships. But women from like 17 to 23 ish, 24, they'll go through this life revelation that it's almost like a early life crisis where they have to make a complete change in their life. And typically, the first thing to go is their relationship, right? In my wife's case, it was she wanted to go off to Texas Tech. It's a long story. I don't feel like going into it, but it was the one time that we broke up for a short time because she thought she was going to go off to college and all that kind of stuff and just live this different life. It's really weird. It's a long story. I don't feel like getting into it because then she'll argue with me later. You told the story wrong. You made me sound horrible. Really, I did nothing wrong. She did everything wrong. And she realized that she came back. Either way.
Is she washing rain?
No, she's right there. I see her. She just walked back from the kitchen. But most women go through that, and I've seen it across the board, like with all my friends. But using that as an example as to like maybe things could change. Even that there's a chick that played Batwoman or whatever, or I don't know. She's a famous actress. She's a lesbian, but she thought she was transgender growing up, and she's glad she never got hormone treatment because she said that would have ruined her.
Gotcha.
So I just feel like there's a lot of stories like that, and you can't reverse it in most cases. So that part just makes me nervous. Not to shit on David Jaffe or how he's raising his kids, but he seemed to be tackling it from a really intelligent standpoint. But yeah, I don't know. That whole thing makes me worried, and especially if it is like more of a trend. It's like based on I don't know. It gets really complicated. It's a really layered issue.
I mean, would you raise one of your daughters as a boy?
I wouldn't raise him as a boy.
I mean, if they said dad, I feel like I'm a boy.
The closest thing that happened. So my 10-year-old, she has really long like white hair on her legs, and so I guess her older daughter, my oldest daughter was giving her a hard time about it, like talking about you need to shave, and so I the whole family kind of like not clowns on her, but like we kind of like we pretty much clown her, because in my household everything's kind of masked in humor to a certain degree, to prevent bullying. It's long. I can go into that later. I don't even know if I talked about that on the first podcast. Did I talk about?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Um, I don't know if I should backtrack and provide context. I might save it for later.
No, I'm saying, would you raise her as a boy? Where
I'm getting there. So she was like, I was taking her somewhere, and the sun was glistening off all her hair on her legs. Like it was a lot of hair, and so I made a joke about it, and she was like, well, I don't feel like shaving, so I'm just gonna be a transgender, so I don't have to shave my legs like that. That's the closest I got to it, you know. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if they came to me and Ashley, my wife, over and over again kept saying they feel like a boy trapped in a girl's body, I definitely wouldn't do the hormones. There's no doubt. Now, would I let them play out how they feel? Most likely 100%, and I would back it 100%. But I don't. I would. I know for without a shadow of a doubt, I would not do hormone blockers. I'd talk. I would just tell them exactly what you and I just talked about, as far as like changing your mind later and stuff. That's just what it is. I wouldn't do it. There's no
Would
way.
it be different if you had boys?
No, same thing.
You let them dress as girls and be girls?
Yeah, if that's what they wanted to do. But I'd also, but with that would come. There'd always be a foundation of fitness, because with fitness, be it and combative fitness in a way, like be it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something like that, because with that level of fitness, when you push them to be disciplined in that regard, it also raises their confidence.
Correct.
And I don't think it'd be healthy to let, because they're already be going through, they're going to have a lot of inner demons that they're dealing with anyway, just from society.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can help build their confidence up in any way, that will help mitigate that. On top of that, if they're fit, they will feel better about themselves, their body, and all that anyway. But it'll also help maybe deter people out there from trying to inflict pain on them if they know that they can handle themselves. So I would try to enforce that in a way that not, and I don't enforce very many things for my kids, but I try to provide them with here's some paths that you can take, and I'll lay out the reasons as to why I feel like these paths are better, and what the pros and cons are for all of them, and let them choose. And 9 times out of 10, they choose the path that I feel like is the right path, but I don't dictate it. So I would do the same thing for them in that regard. Like I wouldn't mind raising them. Like, you know, I tease them all the time. Can you, one of y'all please be a lesbian? Because I just feel like it'd be easier. I don't have to worry about teen pregnancy and stuff. But they always just laugh it off. You know, you're a stupid dad. But no, yeah, it wouldn't change for the boy. It'd be the same. I raise my girls in the same way I would raise a boy. The exact same. There's no difference.
Gotcha.
In the way I raise my girls.
Gotcha.
Not it's. I mean, I got videos for days of me taking them to the gym with me and making them work their ass off. And I mean, that's just what it is.
Well, it's definitely a difference the way I raise my boys versus my girls.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. There is there would be differences in like let's say curfew and shit like that, because life is more shitty for a girl, unfortunately, and that's just reality. You know, I try to explain. You've heard where victim blaming of a woman that was sexually harassed or whatever,
Sexually assaulted.
right, or whatever. Like I don't want to go to the far extreme of that. Just go on talking about it, but I would never blame the victim. But the way I raise my girls is to be very aware of your surroundings and read the room. So I don't want, like my daughter now, it's my 14-year-old. She's getting ready to be 15. She's getting ready to trying to get her permit and all that. You better plan ahead, and you get gas during the day, preferably with a friend with you. I don't want you getting gas on the way home because you need to plan ahead, and now you're at a gas station by yourself. Oh, and by the way, if you, and not that she'll be doing this at 15, but like fast forward to college years, if you are going to the club by yourself and you're wearing what girls wear to the club and you're by yourself, oh, you fucked up. Now you have to get gas by yourself wearing that shit. A predator is always looking, right? So it doesn't necessarily matter what they're wearing. They'll still be a predator, but they'll stand out, and then they'll be more prone to act, right? So it's being cognizant of your surroundings and plan ahead and be fit and all the things. Make sure you have protection. Make sure that's why they're all getting trained on firearms. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want them to I don't want women to feel like a victim in those scenarios. I'm just saying you can help prevent those situations if you plan ahead. And if you want to dress out, I'm not against that either.
Right.
But do it to where you're safe and you're gonna have a group of girls with you, or even with like guys with you or something like that. Does that make sense? Like, that's how I'm trying to do it. Is I want them to be empowered, but also be smart with it.
When he get to talk about kids, his whole dialect and energy changes.
Oh, I lose my goofiness, don't I? I get real serious about that
Very
shit.
serious.
I don't play those games.
He get this old grandpa look in his face, and it's like really stern. It's like the plainness goes away all the way.
That's because there's not very many hills that die. Those are the hills I die on, man. Like, it is what it is. Like I get real serious when it comes to shit like that, because that shit affects me. So
Right.
like to the core. I mean, you have no idea. Like, it's not.
We got any more comments that we need to? or whatever.
Let's see. Choose life, liberty, or pursuit. I don't know what he's talking about. Um, imagine flipping your D into a V. Oh man, there's actual like surgical videos of that. I
Yeah,
I saw the
I'm not
animated
gonna
version.
lie. I seen. I ain't see. I saw the real version.
See, fuck that. I saw the animated version.
So I saw the real version. It was a guy being turned into a woman, and yeah. So they like the way they what's that razor that's like uh it's a laser or razor. It's a hot what is a hot knife
Oh my
that they took the anyway they cut it, they split it open, cut some things off, folded it, pushed it.
Like it's amazing from a science standpoint, like that we can do that.
And
But fuck,
I couldn't turn it away. I was sitting there watching this shit like what?
oh my
In my
god,
brain I kept saying you don't need to be watching this. You don't need to be watching. But I was so interested, like, wow, shit is real. It
man.
was they like took a man's penis, literally, like sliced that shit, cut some stuff off that was not needed, got rid of the testicles.
Yeah, that's what sucks about science. They can't do that in reverse for women. Maybe I get there one day, but man, that's rough, bro. I saw the animated version. I was just like dumbfounded. I couldn't do it. To change subjects, um, when it comes to patriotism, there seems to be maybe it's always been there, but I see that it seems like the black community is kind of split on that, on whether or not you celebrate today. Um, I can see it from both sides. I don't want to say I understand it, but I also find it fascinating that black people that served or a part of like the government, be it like the force or like firemen or whatever, they're all real patriotic like that. But people that aren't, seems like they lean not so much. I think it's a I kind of understand. So I don't know if there's anything you can add to it, but it's
Me personally, my favorite holiday is the Fourth of July, but it has nothing to do with the Fourth, the Independence Day, none of that. Uh, I love popping fireworks. I'm a pyro in that sense, so that's why the Fourth is my favorite. As far as what the Fourth is, and as far as what where my group was in the form of that, no, I don't really see it. That's
when you say
why
group, you're saying your small group, or you're saying as a whole.
as a whole.
Okay,
So and that's why Juneteenth comes into play for me.
so that would be more like y'all's Fourth of July.
Correct.
Okay, um, so does it? I guess I guess I probably already know the answer. Do you get not offended, but like does it bother you if you see people saying like shitting on America and it's and what it stands for? Because I know everybody has their kind of their own
Well, it's
inclination of
like
what.
I look at it like this: if I had not, and it's just what it is, what it is. If you don't like it here, roll out.
Yeah, because
I mean, because it's like okay, America is America. Now, do I personally feel like I always make the point. No, you can sit here and say there was always slaves in every era of
right,
this
right,
of the world,
right,
and in every on every continent. You can
right,
say that,
right.
but no continent has ever stood on the principles, values, and the morals that America has.
In a positive way, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you know how, like you said, like the whole land of the free,
Well,
blah blah blah, blah all those things.
some of the Indians did, some of the tribes, much
Here,
smaller,
wait,
and
so
they weren't a
other
nation
countries are here.
here.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
that was before it was America, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But when I'm talking about America was established
Right,
on what people say the forefathers built this country on and the values and the
right.
principles. No other country did that.
I don't like forefathers. The idea,
Yeah,
I don't even like the term. It
me
just
either,
seems very,
me either
it seems
really,
very
but
demeaning and
me either.
very.
But we got to play with how
I
people have to
know.
play, right?
I don't like the way that sounds.
So for what people say this country was built on, correct? The issue becomes is that it's never who has it been that for? And if you stand on these things, you know what I'm saying, these other things wouldn't have been happening. And so for you to justify them by saying it happened in other places, that's bullshit because you know what? Other places don't stand on what America does.
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself trapped because I already know where you're gonna go with it. I think, but when people say, I see this more with the gay community than I do anywhere else. But Like there's so much anti-patriotism right now, like currently, like today. A lot of it I see from the gay community, but it's like it not, I don't want to say it bothers me because I don't feel like I really contributed to like the growth of America or anything. I didn't serve or anything like that, so if I served, maybe it'd be different. But um, I just find it really ignorant to say such hateful things about America and how terrible it is when these very same people know damn well they wouldn't go live anywhere else because it'd be far worse for them, you know. And like that's and then you have predominant soldiers out there, active or not, like Tim Kennedy as an example, who did it recently, showing clips from the Middle East where they're talking about if you find out you're gay, we're gonna drag you out in the street and burn you alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then he posts that and says, "I'll over my dead body, I'll die for the right." It's like, and he's known as like a really far right, not really far like crazy right, but like he's a right wing dude.
Gotcha.
But he would die for anybody in America. Like, does that make sense? Like, so that's when it kind of bothers me in the sense that you're not gonna get that anywhere else. You're not going to get the military, like guys like that, individuals standing up for people that they don't necessarily agree with their lifestyle, but like they'll die for you. Like to me, that's a beautiful thing, and it's weird that people disgrace that in a way. Like not necessarily like kneeling on the flag and stuff. A lot of that stuff makes sense to me, but in some ways, I understand why people get so upset about it too.
I don't, because it was never about the. It was never about military. It was never about and
No, I know, but like recently, I see a lot of kids kneeling on the flag and stomping it and burning it and all that.
Oh, that's retarded.
Again, I don't get mad about it, but I understand it.
No, that's bullshit. Whether you agree with wherever you live at, whether you
Right.
let's just keep it here. Whether you agree with America or not, you know what I'm saying. Of course, I think everybody probably has some type of gripe with the country, in some kind of way, whether small or large.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, it's like, well, shit. This is our home.
Right.
Like for some fact, like okay, my father's Ghanaian. I lean more towards Ghanaian culture, so to speak.
Right.
Right? But I'm American, so I can't have like I said. So I don't have I don't have a beef where it's like fuck America or my patriotism of America is lesser than. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do I have some issues? Yes, but I don't shit on America. It's like, you know what? It is what it is, and unless we go change it, unless I'm finna do something that's gonna actually impact what I'm having an issue with, all I'm doing is bitching about it. All I'm doing is complaining. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
what you have your complaints, but then what are you doing with them?
Right.
So it's like everybody will have those.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it just gets kind of irritating whenever they don't realize that, or maybe I feel like they do, but they just say things for almost like some sort of clout chasing. Because I mainly see it online. I don't really come across it in real life, but yeah, when they act like they can move somewhere else and have a better life, it's like, well, no, you couldn't at all. So maybe there's a select few cases, but
Depends on the economics.
yeah.
Because here's the thing, like me personally, before we bought the land out there in Gali, in January we was actually preparing to move to Dubai.
That's so fucking expensive,
It's not.
and it's the desert.
It's not expensive.
What the hell are you talking about?
No,
I feel like you're lying to me right now.
it's not.
Dubai is super. It's like one of the most expensive places to live in the world. What are you talking about? You've been there, so I don't know why I'm trying to argue with you. But I feel like that's not true. Fair
It's
enough.
not expensive as people think it is.
I guess
If you can, I'm put it like this: if you can live in California, you can live in Dubai.
I can't live in California, so I'm right. It's real expensive because I can't live in California.
And
Ain't
it
no
all
way.
depends on it all depends on lifestyle that you want to. Let me say that. But that's anyway.
I couldn't have the lifestyle I have right now in California.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like so.
But yeah, so I was about to move there. My family we was about to move there, because here's the thing. Yes, I'm American, but I do not want to die on this land. I do not want to be buried on American soil.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
That would tap into my spirituality with that.
Okay.
Just because I just.
So it's not like a moral stance against Americans.
No, it's spiritually where I don't like. I get a weird sense spiritually about this land and what's happening, what's happened here, and I don't want to. So like the climate of the world we're in today, with all this stupid divide,
Mm-hmm.
there's a big divide.
Right.
I feel like if I if I die here, I'll be trapped in my next. You know what I'm saying?
That's fascinating.
So I don't want to do that.
So where would you go? Where would you
I
want
wouldn't.
to go?
I will go back. I will go back to Ghana. I will either go to. I will go to Dubai.
What's I only know Dubai from like recent history.
And
what was
I
prior to
like
that?
Greece.
Greece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually like I don't know fuck all about any of these places
When I
or their history.
so when I travel, now I hate the ocean. I hate the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, because I think that shit's dangerous, and I respect the ocean
100%.
because first of all, we talk about advantages. I ain't got no advantage
Not a
and
one.
shit in that ocean.
Not a one.
You know what I'm saying? You know what
Not a
I'm saying? The first time I was in the ocean, I went to Mexico. I was in Cancun, and I was just like in probably 5 feet of water, and the ocean whooped my ass.
Yeah.
And from there I respected the ocean. I'm cool. I like to get something like I'll sit outside of it, but I like looking at the ocean from a beach or from a pool, whatever. I like sitting looking at the ocean. Uh, it gives me a sense of freedom,
Right.
for some type of reason, and I can't explain why. But it takes me to the point of if you believe that all black people were brought over here from on slave ships, right?
Right.
So I look at it like this.
I try regurgitating that to other people. What Hotep talks about,
Yeah.
I fuck it up royally. I give up on it. I can't do it anymore. I, I get it all wrong.
So well, the numbers just don't add up. Anyway, so so with that, I'm proud because like, look, I have a choice. I don't. So I look at that water and I just think of all the things that was happening back then
Right.
with people like me who didn't have a choice on those boats. I have a choice to get in that water. I have a
Right.
choice to if I want to go somewhere and do. And so that's different. It's different for me. So it's a sense of freedom. So, but
Do you get that kind of feeling whenever you're around mountains?
no, it's just around water.
Man, I have a weird draw to mountains in the sense of like I love being around them. Like every time I've ever gone to Colorado,
No, I know what you mean, yeah, and that's what it is for me. I was like, I could sit next to bodies of water, and I feel that, and I feel that.
that's got to be from is it Ghana?
Yeah.
That's probably why, right? Maybe if it's passed down genetically, because
I don't know.
right.
It's
And,
just
and you also you said you feel better when you do the fish diet,
yeah,
which has got to be
pescatarian stuff. Yeah.
right. 'Cause
Yeah.
don't
Like,
those two kind of align?
I love sushi.
Right. So
And that shit is weird. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, but that all aligns though with where you come from.
It could be. I never really tied it all together.
I wonder if I come from mountain areas because I really love mountains.
Maybe.
Huh.
Well, you are a Neanderthal,
Yep,
and that's not disrespect. He is. He's a Neanderthal.
it's true. I am. Oh yeah, notice my hair's on fire. Somebody said that they want to shave my beard. You can fuck right off. This was 8 inches longer, and then 3 days ago, the barbershop cut it off. I asked for a trim, and I wanted it shaped into more of a V, and they cut that shit off. My wife is correcting. It's 1.8%. I know, woman, and that's why your kids are part Neanderthal now too. Uh huh. That's why you laid with a Sasquatch. What does that say about you? Your poor decisions. Yeah, see, like, you got another person saying they love them. I wonder if that is. I wonder if the whole DNA thing plays a role in that. Because some people say the DNA has a memory. So
You, you know when I started believing that? That's not gonna be embarrassing. Listen, if you're a parent to girls, if you don't watch Disney movies and all that, then I'm questioning your parents. So from Frozen 2, yes, I watched Frozen with my
I
daughter.
fell asleep during that movie.
Uh,
I can't stand that movie. First one I've seen 1,000 times.
Terrible.
I know.
Anyway, it's about water has a memory and everything like that. And that was the first time I actually thought about all of basically what we're talking about water having memory and your DNA having memory. So
Yeah,
because of Frozen, now I tie those two together and I believe that.
well, which is why but then at the same time we also kind of try to deny uh, diseases and what complications passed down through your genes. We try to deny that too.
We just had this conversation in the kitchen where we don't believe in genetics and passing down negative traits through genetics.
We acknowledge it's real, but we choose not to believe in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes. 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 Because when you go to the doctor and they find out you have cancer, you die immediately. But you could live a whole life and never know it and be fine.
But it's the reason when you go to the doctor or you go to any type of doctor, when you talk about physical or mental, they ask you about your family. Like what the fuck is going on in your
right.
family for a reason, right? But hard-headed men, we like, nah, we shape our own destiny.
That could also my tinfoil hat could be, if I put that on for a second. That could also just be their way of narrowing down possibilities of where to look for an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just bypassing the whole body and they're
Yeah.
trying to focus in on one area. Maybe that's what I tell myself. Yeah. I know I'm wrong. Oh man. So we touched on the Terry Crews. What was the other? There was the we did the two posts that you had. Um, there was another one too that was more. When there another egregious thing that happened that I tagged you on? Just sticky note it. I think there's one or two more. Unless y'all got, and while we got this moment of silence, anybody in the chat, we appreciate you being here. A, B, is there anything that we should touch on real quick? By the way, my phone's about to die. I
Mine
think.
is too.
God dang, these hoe ass batteries. I don't even know if you can say hoe ass anymore. Might get canceled.
Well, the other one you tagged me in was said, it's wild to me that teachers who boast about their tough love approach are the absolute worst at taking any sort of criticism. You tagged me in that too.
Okay, I remember that, but I don't remember why I said that. Say it one more time.
The teachers that boast about tough love are the
Mm-hmm.
worst at taking criticism.
Yeah, what was my angle on that? I had an angle. What are your thoughts on it? Maybe I'll remember.
Nothing. You just said
Who posted that?
You just said sticky note. You was on a roll that day.
Yeah, I know. Damn it! You're right. I should have taken notes.
It was Alexandria Neonakis.
I don't know who that is. Damn it! I don't remember my angle. I had an angle with that.
So you gotta write stuff down, David.
Yeah. Well, transgender in sports. As my wife said, somebody said that. Thanks, babe. Yeah. See, this is how you get in trouble. Um, where I'm gonna pass it on to you, Bubba. What are your thoughts on transgender in sports?
I think it's bullshit. I'm sorry. Men should not be competing with women.
That's that hill I'll die on. But there is a caveat that if all parties are cool with it, who am I to say no?
Oh, as a father of two women, two they're going to women. Any man that think they about to compete with my daughter, I will push back on that shit. Hell no.
Even
You're not
what
gonna.
if it's not physical though?
You said sports.
Right, but not all sports are physical against one another, like baseball.
It's a man's sport. So you think a woman can?
Uh, okay, don't understand the whole idea of softball versus baseball, but okay. Aside from that, that sport there's not a whole lot of contact in that.
Uh huh.
So where I mean I understand the advantages and disadvantages from a biological standpoint. But,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
right, but if okay, so like you don't have a problem with it with chess or video games, right?
No,
Because now esports is a thing,
it,
so that don't
and,
matter, right?
and that's more
Right.
here.
Okay.
Girl gamers are the shit.
Any sport. I mean, I understand the debate, but any sport. Um, it's a game. It's not a sport. Uh, I'm just trying to. So the reason why I'm hesitating with it is because it's. I don't want to come across hypocritical because like when I was coaching little league soccer
Mhm.
for girls, I would always scrimmage boys because the girls would step up their game.
Okay.
Um, and the boys would always be more hesitant to be physical. But I told my girls to be physical as shit, and then the boys started pushing back, and it was just good for them, you know. So if I did that, why am I against it at like high school and beyond? Because I'm not really against it when they're younger,
Right.
but because they're more on the even playing field. Actually, the girls have the advantage at the earlier stages, but
So
yeah.
look at it like this. Look at yourself. Right. If you was playing, let's keep it track. Let's just say track and field stuff.
Right.
Right. It's just fast twitch muscle fibers and all this other stuff. Right. So if you just the kids doing that in elementary, it's not even a competition, not a thing. They're kids.
Right.
But you as an adult man now that's worked out and all this other stuff, if and that's my issue with it. It's like you're getting these men that are now competing with women in these sports, or even weightlifting and stuff like that. No, that's not the same.
So Scott
You
Adams as
you
an example.
it's like you're cheating.
Right. But so like Scott Adams as an example, there's always outliers. And so he points to that in his argument for transgenders being in sports because there's always outliers like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe. They're like the most elite of the elite, especially in that game, right? Like where they're not it's not fair at all for like from the general standpoint of everybody that plays in the NBA. If you put any one person from the NBA against one of those guys, it's like beyond unfair, right? In regards to everything.
Right.
So that was his argument, which made sense, but at the same time, like and it also is like so I'm trying to do CrossFit right now, dude. There's so many of the WODs, the workout of the days, where I'm doing the women's side. Like they'll give like they'll break down the women's weight and the men's, and I just can't do it. I'm new to it, but like there's women out there, especially the ones that are competing, fucking destroy me. So how does that argument? How does that play into that? You know, because you would it makes it challenging to argue it, but
No, because it's not the same level. You new coming in, and they pros.
yeah, but there's also mindset and like the will to like break yourself and like not to lose and all that. Like I might not have the same level of determination that they do, so I might not ever get there.
So the men that are on their level, you think
Right. Yeah.
they
Right.
compete with them?
Once that's even, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like night and day. Right. I know, but
So that's my point.
yeah.
That's my stance on it.
So, but what if your daughter wants to compete against dudes? Do you let it
I
happen?
think it's a double standard.
But do you let him? Do you let him do it?
If my daughter wants to compete with me,
Because I have to face it with wrestling.
you mean men coming into their sport?
Yeah. And they want to do it.
I don't know because
It gets hard, right?
because it falls into that thing where do we think kids know what the hell they want to do?
Right. So if you agree to that, are you also agreeing to sex change? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Slippery slope.
I know.
For me it is. For me
Yeah.
as a parent.
Yeah, because like my daughter wrestles.
Because my kids, the way my kids are being raised, they would call me out on that. If I
Right.
yeah, they would call me out.
Right. So, like, so my daughter wrestles, and there's a lot of times where it hadn't happened yet, but like you could potentially see this being an issue later on, where she has to wrestle a transgender or whatever. And at first, when she first started, I had a hard stance of no, but then she's been going to the like there's like a little hangout spot at one of the middle schools.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the sand pits. It's just sand volleyball courts, and a lot of people have been wrestling and shit. I would argue that it's just a bunch of dudes trying to fill up on girls, but she just wants to prove herself, so she's been trying to wrestle all these guys, and they won't do it. But or so that's what she tells me. So she has that drive to compete, you know, and she wants to go against guys because it's far harder for her.
Or maybe you know what? Maybe my stance probably I guess I have an issue with it when it comes to like the Olympic level and like
When it's for like the goal,
yeah, when it's for everything. I think you cheat. I think you
like
cheat.
what Zuby did. That's how he got famous, was by crushing all the records,
Well, you know, he did it in a different
country and everything. But
in a different light. When he was because his stance is like
he's making a
women,
joke out of it.
yeah, women and men are not the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me prove you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what we talk about is men who identify as women,
Right.
and are now it's like, look, this is who I am. So I should compete with the people.
There's
I
also been a lot of
identify with.
fuckery too, where like they didn't make it in the men's side.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like women that
Yeah, but
yeah, okay. Let me say it. Men that do that. That's always the story. They were never elite anything with men.
right,
They were below average.
right,
So now they go over here, and now they're gold medalists.
right. Yeah, I don't know. And you started to see there was for a little bit there. There was a lot of records being crushed when all these organizations started letting it happen, and then a lot of them started walking back on it and saying, "Nah, never mind," because it kind of takes away from the accomplishment of those before them.
Correct.
You know, so it gets. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I think ultimately I'm against it, but there's outlier situations where I think it's okay, I guess.
But you know, it's that it's certain women who are elite in their field, and they have they have more testosterone markers than your normal woman.
Yeah, like I'm there. Yeah, there. Yeah,
You
definitely
heard about
is.
that?
Yeah.
And they make the women take blockers.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard that part of it though.
Yeah. It's a black lady that did that to you.
Like, is there an example of like somebody I would know that happened to?
No, I gotta find her name. But yeah, they make.
That's crazy because that's also probably present in all sorts of sports on the guys on the men's side, where like the men naturally have way more tests.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that's happening all over the damn place. I wonder if that's got to be true for the two the two badass tennis players.
Oh, the Venus sisters.
Yeah,
The Serena.
because
Nah.
they are like just super elite. I wonder if they have more testosterone than the average woman. Seems like they do.
See, IAAF, women athletes with high testosterone must take hormone blockers to continue to compete with women. So, with that, why would I say why are men being able to do that and not take the blockers?
Well, it's bone structure. There's a lot of reasons why, but yeah.
But if if you're saying women with higher testosterone markers have to take
I'm not saying
blockers,
that.
no, I'm just saying this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
this is this is where my stance comes from.
Right.
If you're saying women with higher testosterone markers is blowing regular women out of the fucking water, and it separates the competition that much
Right.
that you're making them take blockers to compete with regular women. How is a man able to go and do that?
Oh, right, right. Yeah. Well, because I'm assuming it's because they're already on all that. If they're transgender,
And even
I'm assuming.
no, it was like, but here's the thing: whether they taking all that stuff or not, they're still a man.
Right.
Their bodies still work as a man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Their muscle fibers are. I mean, there's so many different
It
factors.
is what it is, and that's my point.
My wife's saying that's BS. Woman, you are here. You can literally come over here and have a conversation. You don't even have to get on camera. You can just sit right over here. There's a chair right here for you.
Wait,
Come join in.
Which part is BS?
I don't know. She didn't clarify. Now she's putting LOL.
Oh.
That's called a sidestep. That's what we need. We need to have a woman's perspective on some of these things.
Very well, true. There's women in the house, and we talking about women things.
Right, right. And I got a whole bunch of them to pull from.
You know, they go, that's that patriarchy, you know what I'm saying? Men speaking on
Well,
women.
she's more rowdy than I am. Like okay, I'll use this as an example, and it kind of made me mad at her. What's that dude? What was that famous football player that knocked that chick out in the elevator?
My favorite running back on my favorite team, Ray Rice.
I think she actually had him on her fantasy team. I have it too, but yeah, okay. So when that happened, dude, I was like outraged is a stupid term that irritates me now. I was legitimately outraged. Like that shit made me mad as fuck. How are you gonna be one of the most elite motherfuckers on the planet and hurt a woman like that? My wife goes, she saw, and that was before we saw the whole clip. It was just like the part where he's hurting her, and then she goes, "I guarantee you, she put his hands on him."
Yeah.
And I was like, "The fuck does that matter?" And she goes, "Don't fucking put your hands on an elite athlete like that and expect not to get hit back."
Don't put your hands on people.
Right, but
Mind you.
I don't agree with that like at all. Like, dude, that's a woman, and you are that dude's like what 260 or some shit, like short 260.
He's 5'5".
Right, like 260 pounds, enormous, like
Not
scary
no
motherfucker.
260.
He's a big. Would you fuck with him? Don't try to act hard like you would fuck
No,
that.
but I was- no,
okay,
I mean,
yeah,
but
yeah.
here-
Remember how I told you I wouldn't bend the knee to a black dude?
Yeah.
I'm bending my knee so quick.
Why?
Like I'll polish this. I'm not letting that motherfucker hurt me. Like
Hey,
that dude
man, look,
is
sometimes-
scary motherfucker,
Sometimes you
dude.
gotta take the ass whooping.
That's not an ass without die.
Listen, little homie.
No,
Listen,
you-
little guy.
Oh my God, you're gonna talk shit to John Bones Jones? Hell no, that dude will crush
Because
you.
he's not a small man.
Neither is what's Ray Rice. What the fuck his name is?
Ray Rice is a small man. He's 5'5".
He's short man, not a small man.
Same thing. Now, but you know what? I get what you're saying because I wouldn't talk shit to the boxers.
Or Ray Lewis,
I would
or
talk shit to the boxers.
yeah, no,
The small one.
even the small, like the 120 pounders. Like, hey,
That's what I'm saying. That's just I wouldn't do it.
respect. I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't agree with that. Like that dude, she wasn't gonna hurt him.
You don't know that.
How's she gonna hurt him?
Are you saying? Oh, there's plenty of ways women can hurt you.
Well, okay, fair, but like for the most part, you can restrain her. Like you play football, like you can just grab her and twist.
Now, listen. Let me not take this position. It ain't like I agree with what the fuck he did. Well, that part. knocking her out was terrible.
And then drug her out
Terrible.
like he was a goddamn caveman. Like he found his woman and taking her back to the cave. Like that shit was crazy.
But I operate on the mindset of keep your hands off people.
Right, but
You know
like
what I'm saying?
take the World Star stance. When you go online and you see the new like the video of the bus driver knocking that woman out or whatever, and
But
everybody in the comment sections,
now.
right, but everybody's laughing their ass off at it. Like that shit ain't funny to me. Like I don't know. I find that shit like it just bothers the shit out of me.
See, why not? That's equality.
I know, but
No, equality.
it is.
You
But
get these equality hands.
right, I get that stance, but it's just not. I don't know. But she was like, well, fuck. I mean, you know, like she's an idiot for doing it. And so it's weird that she took that stance being a woman. It's like, shouldn't you have like women's pride or some shit? Like, what the fuck?
Do you want equality or not?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like
It would basically it would be me. It would be me. I wouldn't be treating you equally if I look down on you because you're a woman and respond differently. You see how they throw that? See how they twist that shit?
I guess, but now
So if you want me-
now put your daughter in that situation.
Huh?
Put your daughter in that situation.
Well, that's where her brothers come in, and that's where I come in.
So
Here's the thing.
So you're ultimately against it then, even if she was the instigator.
No, because everybody has a choice. See, I'm okay with my assholeness or my double standards, or my, you know what I'm saying, or my prejudices. I'm okay with that. I face mine. Here's the thing. I can say all that. Say this with my kids, my daughters. Of course, I don't want somebody's stupid ass son doing any of that to my child. I don't care what she did. But if she did do those things and she just so happened to get bodied, right? She get knocked out or whatever. That doesn't negate the fact that I am a father. And I feel the way I feel about my child.
I understand that, but how do you talk about it now as they're growing up? So, like, let's say,
I'm telling like you tell your kids, keep your hands off of people, respect people's
so
space.
you would use it as a moment of teaching how not to get yourself in that situation, or do you forget and then laugh about it, and then they see that and think, you know what I mean? Like you have to be cognizant of that.
Yeah, but it's a way. I tell everybody, it's a way to hurt people instead of putting your hands on them. Instead of invading, because a man is a man is a man.
Well, you don't have to tell a woman that they already know how to fuck you up.
Exactly, and I like I tell like my wife. My wife, just because of her journey through life, she feels that she can fight men.
You got it rough in your house, boy.
Right? Just because of her previous situations and but me, I tell her like she's more combative than I am when it comes to, you know, I'm not that type. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fit to do that with you. I'm not fit to wrestle with you and all of that or whatever. So I let her know like we have to approach each other differently. Just because my own temperament with that. Because of my own belief, what I just said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not for the wrestle with you. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to because her aggressiveness, we talking about hitting people with cars. We talking about hitting men with bats. We talking about running PlayStations over. We talking about that type of abuse. We talking about, we ain't talking about no little,
Yeah.
you bastard, dude.
Right.
We talking about fighting.
Yeah, black women are rowdy.
Right? Well, but I can't say that. Jesus, oh Lord.
It's true.
It's not true, black women. I love you.
I didn't say it was bad.
You
Black girls are rowdy as shit.
You're perfect. Wonderful. So that's how my wife is, right? And I let her know, like, my own temperament. Don't do that to me. You may get Ray Rice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just I can't.
That doesn't matter. And when she's that rowdy though, she don't give a fuck.
Oh no, that's
Once she's mad, it's it.
not true.
She'll remember that.
This is not a. I'm not letting her know. This is not coming from a place of scaring you, because I love you.
Right.
I love you. But I'm telling you, my temperament as a man, as a human, I can't do that part of it because I will start to see you not as a woman.
Oh right.
You see, period.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't want us to break that threshold. So even when she is getting pissed off, and she see me reach a certain point, like okay, like we need to stop, or like let's calm down. This is we got time. We got time on us. So
Right.
she knows where to stop, where to draw her line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My wife just said, "I'm gonna get Ray Rice." This bitch.
So
God
yeah,
dang.
she knows where to draw the line, and I love her. I love her for that, because like I said, her previous,
Right.
I'm like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like that shit is wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yikes. because I've seen them in action. Her and her sister, we out in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like literally taking on guys, and me and everybody else. Now we gotta intervene because
She's the type of girl that'll get you killed. God dang. I know exactly what you're talking about. She's already talking shit. Like I'm telling you, she hit me with a vacuum once for no damn reason. She'll argue there was a reason. There wasn't a reason. She crossed me up while she was driving one time. Both times she was pregnant, so she was kind of a little out of her mind anyway with hormones. But like, yeah, she's a crazy person.
Well, she took advantage of the situation.
Or yeah, maybe she's a crazy person, like straight up crazy person. Yeah, I know. I'm attracted to crazy women though.
They funner.
Way more fun.
They're way more funner.
Way more fun.
So I totally agree.
She said, "Don't even come out there. You ain't gonna come out here. You're scared. Whatever. I'm not afraid of you." Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I hope your wife sees this and she gets mad at you. That's gonna make me laugh. Because it's not fair that mine's in here getting mad at me. Yours has to get mad at you too. Your wife doesn't even have my channel name, does she?
She does.
Oh, so she could be watching.
I sent her over everything.
You need to get mad at him as soon as he gets home.
Nah, she knows she got a temperament issue.
Yeah, she definitely does.
Yeah,
she sounds real wild.
And I'm like, look, I can't do that with you.
Running over PlayStations? That's so goddamn disrespectful, dude.
Running over PlayStations.
Oh my god. I would be so upset. Like there would be no more anger in my body. I'd just be like, really? Like you went to that level? My PlayStation?
Hitting you with bats, hitting you with cars. And like I said, it hurt because even when you play with her, and you'll probably see it, when you play with her reaction isn't like to tussle with you back or open hand. Her reaction is always closed fist and hitting you somewhere in this area.
I don't like getting hit in the face. It makes me angry real quick.
So that's what I'm saying.
Now I feel like I want to test it with her.
So as a man, as a person who loved her and was growing with her, I had to tell her, don't react to me that way.
I want to see. This is where I get myself in trouble because I hear these things and I immediately go, I want to push that line. Like I want her to be here and I want to mess with her just to see, like, get her right to that point. And be like, oh, just kidding, just to fuck with her.
You already hit. You already hit because first she don't know you. She like, so you hit, and she'll leave it up to me. So okay, so
I do that way too much.
My wife, I love her to death. Dominique, I love you.
Y'all been together for a real long time too, huh?
Yeah. And so here's the thing, like she's one of them girls. Like if she was right here, right, and let's say me and you got into it for some other reason, for some reason,
right,
and it's about to get physical.
Now I'm fighting two people.
Yeah, she's right there.
That's what. So
she ain't no hesitation. We both up at the same time.
Okay, so
on that ass.
as an example, at the time he was like my closest friend, and we were doing some mischievous shit, throwing eggs at people's cars while driving on the highway. But I had a cover at the time. He had one too. He had a fake cover, but so we're not gonna talk about that. But because that's disrespectful as shit. Damn you, Bobby. You know what you did. But he got bored, I guess, and decided he's gonna start throwing eggs in my car. Mm-hmm. Now I got one of those double stack Cover R hoods, just put on, just got fresh paint and everything, and he started tagging my car while we were on the highway with eggs. And I knew he was doing it out of like the whole shock value and all. I get it, and he's a real goofball of a guy like me. So, but we pulled over, dude, and we were so close to coming to blows, right? I mean, we did normally back then when I got in a lot of fights. You know how people would always get nose to nose and you do this whole like shit talking thing, and like everybody's kind of intimidated to throw the first punch, whatever. I never played that game. If we got to that point where they wanted to do that, I was like, all right, we're already here. I'm never gonna take the first flick. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
So, but in that scenario, he's way bigger than me, and I wasn't mad enough to where I wanted to fight my best friend over it. So I was just playing that game, dude. My wife came out of nowhere, and she's little, like she's real short. Dude, she came out of nowhere, flying, and just latched onto the back of his neck like a goddamn vampire from Twilight, and just gnawing on his ass. And he's like 6'5", okay? And her little ass is swinging. All you see is feet, and her face is just biting his neck, right? And so immediately, it went from, I'm mad at you for throwing eggs in my car, to, oh my God, dude, I feel so bad for you right now. Like, this bitch is eating your neck. And he goes, and I shit you not, he goes, dude, she's on my neck. She's biting my neck. So like it diffused the situation, but he was bleeding. Like she drew blood on his ass. So yeah, I feel you. Like she's a crazy person. Like when I tell you, I understand.
Yeah.
I
So
fully understand.
yeah. So that's all. That's all. That's
Are you
far.
finding those traits in your daughters?
Uh, maybe my little one.
The 1 year old
Yeah, she's a beast.
like that. Like
She
you can see you can hint tendencies of that.
yeah, we have to kind of check her on bullying. Um,
Really?
yeah, and she's a hitter.
Oh man.
Like
So yeah, she's just yeah.
and like her mother, she did it to her mother one day. Like we were sitting.
Oh, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. I hadn't even thought about that.
We were sitting.
You're in for a rude awakening.
We were
This is
sitting
exciting.
in the bed, and our daughter was playing. She had her phone, her mom's phone, iPhone. She took it. She wound it back. I saw it too, and her mom was literally lost in the TV, wasn't even paying attention. Bop! Her mom literally had to catch herself because she went into
Instant like
that mode where
defense mode. Yeah.
and she was about, I was like, whoa. And so she
Damn.
had to go out.
Dude, that's great. That's so great. So the daughter mother relationship can be so like violent at times, like in language and whatnot. Dude, you're gonna have to go through some shit.
I already know. I was telling her these things, but she didn't want to believe me.
Oh my god, I can't. That's almost exciting in a way. Like I hope I'm around to see the gray hair just go. You're gonna, dude. That's gonna be a scary nightmare. Because I'm already dealing with it. Like where like, but my kids kind of saw it crazy, so maybe that's what will happen with you. Like your kids will see the crazy and just not test the waters in that regard.
Well, they don't bother me, but they bother her. So I kept telling her, I treat boys totally than I do girls. I'm just, and maybe it's because I grew up with women. Even
Right.
though I have my brothers, they're like I grew up with women pretty much. So I treat I know I have this favoritism thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just treat them differently. Um, and my wife hated that. That's before we had girls. She was like, "That's wrong. That's wrong." I'm like, "Well, it's just the whole thing. You know, daddy's girl, mama's. You know what I'm saying?"
Right.
She didn't want to believe me. And I said, what's crazy is, I said, just how you got your thing with your mom, where y'all got that tension.
Right.
I was like, it's gonna like when I'm like we had daughters, it's gonna be the same thing because you see different things in them that I don't see.
Yeah.
I'm irritated.
I can relate to that.
I'm irritated with my sons because I see little things in them
Right.
that they do and mannerisms and just things that can create problems as you become an adult as their age.
Right.
So it irritates me on a different level. And she didn't understand that because it was all boys, and so she looked at those her babies.
Right.
I'm like, no, I look at them as these are going to be men one day, and that shit, the little shit that they're doing is irritating.
Oh, okay. I wonder if I would be like that too.
And so she didn't see that until we had daughters. So when it comes to our daughters now, she's kind of she's not a once the child hits a certain age,
Right.
that nurturing thing kind of just diminishes.
But it also goes with the I think that also changes too whenever you have more than one. Like once you get past two children,
Yeah,
the way you raise them is a little different.
Cause she a thug. She really is.
Your
She's
wife?
she's a hard ass. Especially with the girls.
She's like, I'm not crying. These are thug tears.
Especially with the girls. So she see things that totally different than what I see.
Right.
And she reacts. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I say you remember what 6 years ago when I told you? I said, you notice that's coming true now, right? She's like, whatever. She's like, you and your kids just get on my nerves.
Right.
Whatever. I'm like, nah, I said, the way you respond to them, you've never responded to the boys that way.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I wonder if how I would be different with boys in that regard. Because I don't know.
You'd be a lot rougher.
I'm pretty rough with my kids though. Like pretty damn rough.
Boys are different because here's the thing. For me personally, I realize that I'm raising men, and you're gonna be in charge of a family one day.
Right.
You're gonna approach some man about his daughter, or you gonna be out here in the world, and you have my last name.
Right.
And I don't need you fucking up nothing for anybody. I don't need you to be a piece of shit to somebody's daughter. I don't need you to be a piece of shit human. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that falls for me personally. I feel like that falls more on me with my sons than my daughters.
Okay. Right. Hmm.
Because when men fuck up, especially black men, you know what I'm saying? Once we of age, it always comes a question of, was his father around? Where's his
Right.
father? Where's his father?
Yeah, yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
like that. And I don't need my boys out here being dickheads and being stupid ass humans. And it's a question of if their father was around. Hell yeah, he was around. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like what they're doing ain't got shit to do with me at this point because I've raised them. They have now they're adults, but
Right.
society doesn't see. They like, what's his father around? That's the big thing. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's gotta be brutal
yeah, so
to
it's a little
face
bit
that
so
anyway.
it's a little bit more pressure on me. And it's like, not to say that's abnormal. I'm complaining. It's just how I look at fatherhood for myself personally. I take this shit seriously. I need my boys to be on point. I need them to be leaders, but I need them to be themselves. Don't be me, but figure out who the hell you are. But don't be out here fucking up our name either.
I wonder if my dad had thoughts like that. I don't know, but I don't feel like he did. I guess that's gotta be the different dynamic between white and black though.
Could
That
be.
that could never come up.
Could be because you know what? I with parenting shit with my partner selection, I'm battling a whole bunch of other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a
Instead
whole
of
bunch of extra shit that we
yeah,
we don't necessarily have to put up with.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and so it's like
Well, I guess you would if you were being raised in a more prejudiced household on the white side.
oh yeah,
You'd have to deal with it, I
yeah.
guess, like that, or if you're gay or
Well,
something.
for mine is more of a society thing. It's more of a what's this like? Like going back to what we talked about with those other people like Candace Owens. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Fatherless and da da da
Right,
blah
right,
blah blah. And so like me, I want I don't need the right ever speaking of my children that way. That's why my own kids, I let them listen to Candace Owens and all that. They be like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about
mm,
because they don't.
right.
They don't identify what shit she has to say about black people.
That's like your own little science experiment.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like and those are things I'm combating because I don't need society or a group of political whoever judging my kids like that. That shit's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like I don't want that as a father.
Do you
That's the
think
shit.
that do you think that negatively affects the way you raise them?
It impacts it for sure in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing why I chose to be with a black woman. Why how I feel like we talk about
Right.
interracial
Right.
relationships. But the simple fact is black men don't date black women. They don't stay. They don't father their children. They don't get married. Stuff like that.
Right.
That's bullshit. That's me intentionally making the choice to combat that bullshit.
Oh, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That don't apply to me. So stop saying that stupid shit.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't have to. Some of that stuff I don't have to worry about or
Correct.
think about.
So those are the norms that go through my head with all those selections
Yeah.
of my life. How I parent, how I'm a father, how I'm a husband.
So are you way more lenient when it comes to religion? Like, does that ever cross your mind about who they date? Does that bother you at all?
That no.
No.
It at that point, especially well, if they're in my household, I got a lot. Then I have an opinion. But when they become adults,
Well, even so, okay. So now, like, if they're still under your household, do you care about what? Like, if they're dating somebody that's agnostic, would you care about that?
as long as you ain't worshiping Satan up in here
Right.
and doing stupid shit, no, I ain't got nothing to say.
So like so no other religion really bothers you then in that regard.
No, I'm really freedom of religion. I'm like,
Right.
as long as you're in tune with yourself and you believe that there is a God. Look, I don't care who you pray to. You know what I'm saying?
What
But
if they what if they dated a Candace Owens type politically, like or they're politically, but see, it also shapes their whole personality. But like, what if they're like that?
I would question me then.
Really? Like that level?
Oh yeah,
Really?
for the simple fact how I raised them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would you even deal with somebody like that on that type of a personal level? Is it just the person, or is what they're doing?
Because you're seen as a character flaw.
Yeah, what they're doing. Does it agree? Does it line up with you? How you've been raised?
Right.
And why did you like that? What when they talk the way they talk? How do you feel as a person? Because that's what it's like. You can love who you love. Sometimes you can't control that.
Right.
Certain people can't. For me, love is a choice. It's not a feeling.
Mm.
So for me, that's why, and that goes into the way why I made the decision I can make. Where I can sit here and say all those factors play a part in my decision making. Because for me personally, as a human, love is not a feeling; it's a choice.
You you discount, like, you don't get a physical reaction with love?
Of course, but
Like,
it's not. It's not. I don't have that euphoric chemical things like
even
I
with your kids,
that's a father. It's totally different for
say
me.
it's still love. It's still defined as love,
For, okay, well I'm talking about partnership.
but it's still
Partnership.
love, right?
Well, my kids is different. Like those are my humans.
But is it?
For me, it is.
No, but I'm make you think about it though. Is it different?
For me, it is.
The love is different.
Yes.
So okay, so your relationship is not unconditional.
No. Right. I don't have conditions to my relationship or love for my children, or even my wife. But that's an intentional decision.
Does she feel that way too?
No, my wife's totally different. On that, hers is more of a chemical thing, and her is a.
You do know that science argues with that, right? That's one of those things where you're just like, yeah, no,
I don't know. I'm just telling you how I feel.
right.
Like I
Like the way
said.
your brain lights up and the way like the blood. I mean, there's a lot of things that occur when.
No, I understand. I'm not combating that, or I'm just not saying I'm right. Or I can I could possibly be wrong. But for me, it's more of a conscious choice.
Right.
Um, and a chemical thing may the science behind it may be, what I'm saying, may be part of that. But for me, in my brain, how I function, how I interpret human interaction, behavior, and
Right.
closeness. For me, all that shit is a choice.
You're not. It's what's fascinating about that is you're not necessarily wrong either because there's some science that says a lot of science that says that we are not meant to be in one relationship the way our bodies function. So
It's
like women are built that way, but men aren't, which is
whole another,
all
another
fascinating
bag of worms where I personally wouldn't mind a poly.
to me. Not me, dude. No way. There's too many of them. It's hard. It's no.
What you mean? There's too many of them? Too many what?
I'm already around too many women.
Oh.
Hell no. There ain't no way. There's no way. Mm-mm.
See, like my brain, like I've never been that jealous type like that. So
You don't get jealous?
my brain don't work that way. So if a guy's coming up around my wife or whatever, or even a girl, whatever, my brain don't work that way. I'm like this. Let's see what happens.
What? Oh. I think you said food. I was like, why the hell do I want food? Here, go get it. Come around the backside. You're so weird with cameras. Say hello to my friend.
How you
So it's
doing?
first meeting. It's very strange. You're making it weird. You're making it weird, Ashley.
I was about to join you because you were talking mess on me.
You ain't gonna join shit.
What?
Bet. You ain't gonna come out here.
Watch me.
I'm gonna wait too. I'm gonna hold my breath.
Reverse psychology.
Come. We can't get our women together. It'll be a nightmare for us.
They go eventually.
So I was about to ask you something about with the jealousy thing. So like you wouldn't get like some kind of way that a dude was hugging on her for a little too long. That don't bother you? Oh hell
So-
no, I don't.
So society and male norms say I should be upset. I should have a physical reaction to that. But if I'm being honest with myself, I don't give a fuck.
Well,
So also
you win a lot of arguments then too.
So for 28 years, I played into that male was supposed to how males are supposed to react. When honestly, to be honest, like if I'm being honest with myself, I don't care because my brain don't work like that because it's a choice. Here's the thing: if a woman or a human fucks with you, they fuck with you. Period. So what you have or what you may do with another human, long as it doesn't fuck with what we have, I don't care.
I can't vibe with that at all. Not even a little. Like, but see, like you probably win a lot of arguments because the one, if you take two people, and it doesn't. I don't think it necessarily applies to relationships, but the one that cares the least wins. So whoever gets more emotional in regards to a debate or an argument or whatever, loses typically. So like if you're fighting with your wife, if she gets more emotional and you don't, you'll end up winning the battle. They'll cave.
I am a person like this. You don't own anyone. I don't care if you've been with them forever. I don't care if y'all married, whatever. You get to experience that person. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like that too. But
whatever that may be is what that may be. And like I said, I don't let any other outside person or what they may do affect my
you
relationship with them.
you wouldn't feel disrespected?
No.
Oh hell no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So for a long time, I felt like I should, but at the end of the day, uh, my my self awareness, my everything within me, you know what I'm saying? I won't feel disrespected at all. I mean, it's like, hey, that was your choice as a human. It's your choice.
Even like cheating,
That was your choice as a human.
it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Like, are you being as callous to say like it wouldn't even bother you or hurt you?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm the your choice would have, your choice would be
Yeah, but
like,
that
damn.
choice that choice is so goddamn disrespectful.
I'll be like, damn, that's fucked up. But at the end of the day, am I gonna let it fuck me up inside? And that comes from a place of mental health, knowing my own boundaries and my own extensions. Because I've been I,
That was another low key. You call me mental ill again.
no I've been going to therapy for over 15 years.
Mm-mm.
I, I,
I
I
don't
go
like
to
that shit either.
yeah I go to therapy for the simple fact of my own traumas and knowing my self awareness of where my walls are and where I can bend.
So are you still in therapy actively today?
Oh yeah,
I can be a therapist for you. All they do is put the question back on you. Tell me about how you feel.
not good ones. Well, a therapist's job is to help you find you and help yourself get to you basically. Um,
I guess
I did a year and a half of psychology just to understand myself.
that's dope.
Uh, because that's just the way my brain thinks. You know what I'm saying? I,
Is it from all the trauma in your past, like that you were alluding to in other
oh yeah,
conversations?
oh yeah. Here's the thing. It's like my attitude with like I say when people bring up Chicago
Mm-hmm.
or black on black crime.
Right.
Here's my stance, and I'll say this to anybody. I said on my timeline. Um, can't nobody get me to care about black people who killed black people being murdered, because that's what it's attributed to black on black crime, right? So if a black person kills a black person, and then that black person gets murdered by another black person for murdering a black person, I'm not fit to be I'm not fit to concern myself with that person because that's what you deserve. That's justice.
Right.
No police needed. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is. And so with that, my mindset is that, and it's I can back that because of my own choices. I've buried over 30 people, including my father, my two brothers, my uncles, and my nieces that got shot in the face and stuff like that. That's the environment I grew up in. So I'm in any situation, I'm not calling the police. If I was to ever be murdered in a crazy way by anybody,
Right.
my group knows we're not calling the cops.
Right.
We're not looking for judicial justice at all. Call it what you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I am a person, an eye for an eye. You take from me, we take from you. Simple.
Yeah, but that's a vicious cycle though.
It can be a vicious cycle, but such is life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Such is life. One of the Bible commandments is what? Do not cause harm. Do not murder. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da.
Right.
So, in that way, it's like shit. It is what it is.
Yeah, you also talked about doing what was it, like community outreach, like going to Chicago and trying to help or whatever. What were you
Yeah,
referring
because
to?
here's the thing. Like,
Have you done that?
Chicago's home for me. So people can complain about Chicago all they want to, but it's like you can ask, what about Chicago and da 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 da? Are you doing anything? Are you going? Do you have money in infrastructure in the neighborhoods there? Are you providing any type of funding? Are you providing books for school, outreach programs,
Right.
anything? Are you providing resources or your stupid ass opinion? Because if your stupid ass opinion is just what about Chicago because you want a talking point or to make black people seem like they just animals and killing each other, you don't count. Sorry, shut your ass up.
You were talking about like going out there and actually doing something. What would it be? Like what would doing something be?
I'm comfortable in that environment, but for folks that with the what about Chicago people, fine, let's go there. I'll pay for your ticket. I'll pay for your stay. I'll pay for your rental.
I
Everything.
signed up for it, and then I thought about it. Like I was like, yeah, I'll go with you. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, that sounds real like a terrible idea for me to go.
And so it's like, let's go hang out with the people. Let's go hang out with the gang members. Let's go hang out with the killers. You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
feel like I don't
Let's
feel
go
like
hang out on the block, and let's say your ideology that you believe. If you believe your ideology will help these people, if you believe that the resources that you have and the information you have can help these people, let's go highlight them. Let's go talk to them. Let's go change some mindsets. Let's do that. Let's start there.
I couldn't even help him then.
It's
But-
like let's start there, because you just saying what about Chicago ain't doing shit for nobody. It's making you
Yeah.
look like a dickhead because you want to get likes and retweets. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? There's no genuine concern there.
Right.
And that's my issue with it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's home for me. I don't care how much it has taken from me. That's home for me. And it's like, if you gonna say what about Chicago, well, get your ass on the plane and you'll know about Chicago if you go to Chicago.
Well, yeah. So I knew what crowd you were actually talking about, but when I said I'd go, I at first it seemed like it was a good idea. Like it might be kind of like almost like adventurous, because I've never been anywhere like that. I don't think. I'm clearly not, because that's a lot of bad shit that goes on there. But
Just like anywhere else.
yeah, but like I've been to bad parts of Dallas where I didn't feel like unsafe, but I didn't feel like threatened really. I feel like there could probably be way different for me, like me personally.
Life happens normally in Chicago like it happens anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? There's people in Chicago right now doing what we doing.
Yeah, I get that, but like I'm talking about like going to like the neighborhoods that you're talking about. Me being me, and how I play too much and shit. I feel like
Oh yeah, that wouldn't work out.
I don't think it'd work. I wish I would know that, but I would still test it a little bit just because that's just how I am. Like I'm retarded in that way.
And me personally, I will let you know where you can do that and who you can.
Well,
do it around.
I also read the room. Like I'm not gonna just you know. But I wonder. It just seems like I feel like a lot of fun can come from there too. Like because people that you can, and I'm pulling this from just hearing people talk and stuff, but when not from personal experience, but hello. It seems like people that have faced really bad trauma also live it up because they know life is short. And so you can learn a lot in that regard, but it's also a lot of fun. So I figure like those scary areas, I could also have a fuckload of fun there too. I wouldn't bring her with me, but so I would go with you, I think. And then if I died, I'd be upset with you. I'd try to haunt you, and I would fuck with you. Like,
I'd do everything to not let you die.
I don't care. But if I died, I'm just letting you know. You're gonna lay with your woman. I'm gonna play with your booty hole, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?" And I'll be like, "See, this is me." And you would know it, and now you know. So if you get me killed,
with another man's booty hole.
hey, and at that point, that's what you deserve. You know what I mean? So you signed up for it. Now you know. Basically, I took that a little far.
You did.
We gonna keep him down.
I don't have comments anymore.
Oh, you got comments. They popping up. I'm
I
pretty
know.
sure somebody said
Everybody's
something.
Because you what?
see. Yeah, it's funny in my head. I don't care if y'all don't get it. It's funny to me because I know the reaction will be like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
This is
And then you get mad at her. She's like, "I didn't do anything. Where's the dogs?"
This is the humor I'll be having to deal with.
Please be easy.
Oh, that's my buddy. I met him through Google Plus, and he thinks he's better at me than gaming, and he's never beat me in
He
anything.
said LMAO, Sky stay on weirdo status.
See, he knows. He's very familiar with my weird ass, stupid humor.
Big weirdo.
So what were you? You have any interjections to make? Did you act like you had some shit to say? I'm actually like super surprised you're out here. How much you been drinking?
It was maybe. It was mainly with the kids stuff. That's where I felt like I could have chimed in, but I don't even remember now what it was.
Did I say anything? Did I say anything like not true? I feel like
You started talking about the pregnancy thing.
what pregnancy? Where you? Oh, yeah, right. Where you attacked me with the vacuum?
Right.
Okay,
I
so
felt
what?
like I was going to chime in because.
But what did I do to deserve getting hit with the vacuum?
I mean.
Oh, I don't know if people can hear you. Sorry, your mic's not over there.
In that particular time,
You gotta
probably
talk
a
up.
lot. I don't remember.
Exactly. If it was, I remember getting hit with the vacuum, but you don't remember why. So therefore, it doesn't. They don't
But when
equate.
you're pregnant, you lose your mind.
He said he has a choice. Yeah, I'm calling him out now, getting you in trouble.
What?
You said that she used it as an excuse to hit me with the vacuum. She just wanted to hit me with the vacuum.
She pregnant? What you gonna do? You would go straight to jail.
She wasn't thinking.
When have I ever done that though? When have I ever been that like
When you were pregnant.
when I was pregnant.
But you've attacked other people though. When
So
you
we
were
got
pregnant.
hormones, we got common
Yeah.
sense. Like, oh, you know, I'm taking advantage of the moment. Fuck him up with this
No.
vacuum.
Then I can blame it on pregnancy. Yeah. Now you hold on to it like it's like a wet dream now. You just hold on to that shit.
What have I ever done?
Like whenever I make you mad, you're like, I remember that time I hit him in the shin with a vacuum for no reason.
But
That felt so good.
But have I ever done it again?
Since then, you didn't cross me up while driving. You were driving.
Two piece.
I was pregnant.
Dude,
Two piece.
bad, yeah. Like a right, or was it, yeah, it was a right jab and a left hook. Whoop, whoop. And she made me look at her first too. She says something. I was like, huh? Bam.
So she set
See,
you
I
up.
don't even remember.
Bad,
I don't
dude.
even remember that. I truly don't remember that.
Because you go into a blind rage, you're a crazy person.
I mean, I
Set my man up. So what I'm saying ain't totally wrong.
Right. And Bobby still probably has bite marks. Like people probably think he
That's
tried.
because you were, I was defending you.
Nothing had happened yet. You
Doesn't
just
matter.
decided to bite his
It
ass.
doesn't matter.
God dang. That's-
Stuff was going down, and I felt like I needed to, distract.
It was a good move. I
She
could
went
at
straight
that
to
point.
man, you could have disabled the fuck out of him.
I know, but I
He
was
getting
like,
bit.
I was concerned for my friend at that point. Like it was, I was like, damn,
Right.
she might get his jugular. We don't know.
You weren't even mad at him anymore. You were worried about him.
This man
Yeah.
is getting eaten alive.
Like that's some next level shit, like some Jeffrey Dahmer type shit. I was like, I didn't know there was women serial killers. Like, god dang.
And my damn trauma, I would have been like, well, she fighting. I guess we about to beat his ass. The fight is on. I would have been sitting there like, dude, are you okay? I'd have been like, hey, forgive me, but we got to beat your ass now.
I've been in, I guess like now, especially now, like I guess I get the older I get a little bit too sentimental in a way, or I feel I'm trying to put myself in other people's shoes so much, like whether it's like from learning or whatever. It also applies to anger now. Like so, the last fight I got in was when we went to Austin, and I kept hearing about how like everybody's so cool at Austin, and everybody was like, "I'll buy you a beer," and there's never any fights or anything like that. So we go, and everything was cool, just like that. But then we were walking back to the car. We had just her and I just bought a new, was like a Nissan Altima or something, and there was a bunch of dudes that were like drunk, and we didn't know that though. But they're like on the car.
I knew that.
Whatever. I did. Well, she instigated it. So you were just being evil again. So it looked like they were trying to break into it. Right, but it looked like they were trying to break in. And so I go into a full-blown sprint to prevent them from breaking into the car. End up fighting these three dudes. And, well, I guess at first there was like some dialogue. But they didn't really make it known that they weren't breaking into the car. They were just kind of like talking shit, like, why are we mad that they were on the car? And so we ended up fighting them, right?
Because you're on my car.
Yeah, but then afterwards I thought about it. And I was like, man, I hurt those dudes for no reason. Like, what ended up happening? Because I guess my parents ended up showing up and like were trying to defuse it after the fight had already taken place. And then I think they found out that like the guy fell on the car because he was drunk, and they were just trying to get him off of it. And so I beat their ass for no reason. And it was like a life lesson moment.
Damn, so he was a dickhead.
Yeah, like real bad. And that's not fair. Like so then.
Steroid freak.
Well, I wasn't on steroids, but was I on steroids? I don't think I was. I don't know. I might have been. Who knows? I don't think it matters. Roid rage is not a real thing. It really isn't. But yeah, it just makes you think. Like, so fast forward in life, like there's moments where I could have made a move, and I thought about it. Like, wait a minute, am I looking at this wrong, or am I, And so sometimes I feel like that could be a bad thing, to not just jump without thinking. I think sometimes that could get you killed, probably.
Oh, definitely.
Not necessarily, maybe not around here, but like, especially where you grew up, you couldn't be like that.
Oh, no, but that's why I'm so calculating with my.
Right.
Even should I say?
Yeah, because
like
you can't be like that.
No.
And that's why you don't really play a whole lot.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pull that out of you though.
Exactly.
Because you've been doing it more. You've been talking a lot more shit. But you're just real low key about it.
Yeah.
Like I won't catch on, but I catch on every fucking time.
What's crazy is, I do it. I've learned to do it in a way, where I say it to you, and it won't hit you probably for another 20, 30 seconds, but then we on to another subject.
Right, but that's the woman's approach.
That's fine.
No, but I'm saying that's how they do it.
But like I told you, I was raised with women, basically. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why you pick that up.
So
You're like a superhuman.
Women's foresight is amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. See, don't do that.
It is like the way they're calculating. That's why I tell people when especially when amongst black people, this whole thing, this gender war thing, right? With the matriarchy, patriarchy. I'm like this. In my group, my family, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's a matriarchy. Those are the ones that's up top, and I've learned that from I've just watched them. The way that women are calculating and their foresight into other situations and how to get in and,
Right.
and maneuver. I'm sorry, that shit is way more effective and efficient than the man approach
Like
of
checkers, basically. Checkers
of,
versus chess.
of go in there and blah blah blah, and it's like nah, because you're not out thinking your opponent. You just think you about to bitch your opponent.
Right.
What happens to the opponents that you can't bitch?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's why I always tell people, if you see me, I tell people you got to learn how to fight different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because and that's what that comes from. That comes from that matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Because women, their foresight and how they read the room, and they see the entire playing field. So men, this is what we see. We see this. That's all we see. We see the phone. This. Women see over there in the grass.
Right.
And I need to see over there in the grass.
Yeah, it's like people that when they get in a fight they start windmilling versus somebody that jabs. They understand that the jab sets up everything.
Correct. And
that's also you're about to get your ass beat. If you get jabbed real quick, you're like shit.
So I've learned to see past what's in front of me. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is.
Why are you so mean like that?
It's not mean.
It's fucking mean.
Smart.
You play mind games. It's mean.
It's not. It's like you jab a person.
You're mean
and
too.
They won't even know they jabbed.
I'm classifying you all the same thing. You're both mean. Mean people.
So it's like I can say slick shit to you. You won't catch on. We on the next topic.
Motherfucker, I gotta cut on to all of it.
So you can't. But you respond late.
I don't respond. I'm just that could partially be because I'm just no. It's not true. I respond back pretty good.
Really?
Right?
Do you?
I don't know. I think so.
See, if anything, you can kind of confuse yourself, but I just keep playing on you like that.
Yeah. But that's also because I'm partially an idiot. So that's not fair.
And you don't see you kind of think like the way you said with the white people with the kneeling and all this other stuff, right?
With the what?
With kneeling and and being the guilty white people, the people that we don't like, right? You do that in a sense, but you do it emotionally. People like you said,
I emotionally kneel to you.
like you just no. I'm saying what you're saying. Like you said, you put yourself in other people's shoes.
Oh right.
So your thing is not
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, your thing is not self-preservation. You don't want to hurt other people's feelings.
No, I'll fuck your feelings up. I'm just saying, like, it's like I try to it's hard to explain, but maybe I see what you're saying. Though.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I don't. It's not like a.
So even though you say like you don't have a sensor or filter, you do have a sensor or filter. You're just your natural thing. That unless we was on the other side of the thing where we just being dickheads to one another.
Oh no, yeah, I have a filter. I recognize the filter, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say this. I just try to figure out their perspective to where I can still say it and get through the filter without any, like they understand that my intent's pure. Does that make sense?
Understand like
so I'll still say the shit. I'll be slick with how I say it.
Certain people like Candace Owens don't give a fuck how she said it. See the difference?
Oh, she doesn't give a fuck how she.
No. Do you think she have a filter at all?
Yeah.
As to what?
That filter is green. How can she word her phrases to where
When
she
it,
gets paid
well,
off of it?
what we don't like about her is she don't have a filter towards us.
That filter she recognizes. You know damn well she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the filter.
But the filter is, look, I can say what I need to say this. I need to offend this group to appease this bigger group over here so them checks keep coming.
But I think she's changing her mindset. Or she's not saying her true feelings because she's getting paid off of it. Her filter is blocking what she truly thinks.
I think she's been wrong a couple times.
Well, everybody can be wrong, but I'm saying generally speaking, her content in general, the way I view it, now that y'all have opened my eyes to it, not that I watch it very often, but I think she knows she has a stance, and then she knows the stance she has to take in order to keep growing. That's what she's doing. I don't do that. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. I just got to figure out how to do it.
And that's at the expense of our group, though. That's why you can make a George Floyd video.
Right. Well, okay. So, like, here's an example. Remember you said I haven't offended you, or I can't offend you, or I was like challenged, and I sent you the video.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was what initially in my head, the filter that kicked in was not doing it publicly, because I knew that like if I did that and the people watching it wouldn't get it, but you would, and so I sent the video to you anyway. Right. So the thing still happens. I just go about it in a little bit different way.
Yeah, no, and just like
that's what I try to do.
And for me, like I said, for me, everything's a choice. You gotta learn how to apply things. So before I started going to therapy, my rage was just my rage, and I used to get into a lot of shit.
You were a victim to your own rage, yeah.
Yeah, right. So here's the thing, like that word, bitch. You said it a couple times, right?
Right.
Well, in certain different environments around back home.
Oh, I know very well.
Back home, that would have led to a lot of trouble.
I forget too, because like you can't within the black community, you can't make fun of people's moms. They get real mad about that.
Nah, it depends on the. If y'all cracking jokes, y'all cracking jokes.
Yeah, well, right, like your mama jokes, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not part of the group,
Correct.
you trust me, I made that mistake many times over. It's also with the bitch thing. Now, some people get really offended, not offended, but like it's like that word when that's thrown at
Super
them,
disrespectful.
it's time to fight,
Yes.
right?
And see,
I-
I was raised around GDs.
Right.
So that is another
GDs?
set. Yes, gangster disciples.
Okay, the fuck is that? That sounds awesome. That sounds like something like out of like Borderlands or something.
It's a gang. It's what happens in Chicago. So in LA and all the other places, you got Bloods, you got Crips and all that.
Yeah.
Well, where I'm from, that never existed.
It was Gangster
It's
Disciples.
Gangster disciples, BDs, Stones,
Oh my
Four Corner Hustlers.
That should be the name of our
So,
podcast.
yeah. So,
That's a great fucking name.
Stop.
That's a great name. Oh, that's great.
So for me, that word has different connotations. And up until I was 24,
Yeah.
I operated on those rules.
Right.
So it was always go time.
Yeah.
Every time somebody said that, it don't matter how they said it or in the spirit they said it in, that get applied.
I know, and I always forget that, and I never stop using it. Because it's like when I said bitch made, I saw your demeanor change real quick. I was like, oh, he's one of those people that doesn't like that.
Because it clicked, it was like.
I know, I saw it happen live. I was just like, well, I'm not going to address it because whatever. But I said it now, the damage is done. But I always forget that there's certain words like when you're talking shit, like you can cross it. And then I'm always like, man, what the fuck? Like,
Well, now
we're going back and forth. It's not
so
fair.
yeah, so for me, it people, like I said, back to evolving. You know what I'm saying? We still are the same people we've always been. We just evolve. We evolve
Or you grow
to
up, or you
Right.
get
yeah. You evolve to a more you get more self-aware. You get
Right.
more conscious of yourself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you've done the work to get to those points,
Or if you've like made the mistake to recognize it, or you
or if you give a
recognize
fuck,
mistakes. Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying, or if you give a fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah, like
so with that, so like I said, when you said it, of course I had that switch, but it's like, no, I'm not that person no more. I'm not
Right.
even in that environment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I don't need to operate here in that type
Yeah.
of energy.
I make those mistakes all the time. It applies to everybody, but like everybody has their own little thing. Like I don't like when people eat around me. That's why when you start eating, I left.
Oh, that's why you left
Fuck,
out?
I can't mess. I will kill everyone in the room. My whole family gets really mad. Why do you never eat with us? Because I can't stand the way food sounds when people eat it. Like it bothers me to the core. Like you have no idea.
I
It's
was
like
wondering why you kept coming out.
level. It's a well part. It was also because I was also trying to set up, but it's a level of torture that I cannot describe to you. Like remember when you were talking about seeing how transgenders get the surgery?
Yeah.
It's like that for me in my brain. I just go.
So can you not go to dinner?
No, it has to be a lot of ambient noise. Like in our household, like we don't have the dinner around the table and just I can't do it. I have to have a podcast on or something.
I'm like, if you just take your wife out on a date, like.
No.
You
Well, but she knows.
There's a lot of background noise, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, well, and she also doesn't eat loud
Right.
because she knows it bothers the shit out of me. Like the Asian culture, like it's part of their culture to be loud when they eat. I will go.
Is it?
Is it?
Why does nobody ever know about the Asian cultures?
What?
Yes, that's a very real thing. They slurp their noodles and stuff. Yeah, it's a show. It's a sign of respect to the chef.
Oh.
Really?
I will go on a killing spree if I go to Japan. I can't do it. I can't do it. I would love to go to Japan, but that right there would keep me from going. It bothers the shit out of me.
Interesting.
Yes. So now that you know this, you have this ammunition against me. Like, it's funny to me.
We were always messing with that.
Yeah. So like,
Crunching chips really
Ooh, I
loud.
can't wait to get some Doritos.
that's what,
Yes.
dude. I
Yeah.
lose my. I
He
will
hates
leave.
it.
I will leave. But like, it's also funny to me because I recognize how stupid it is. So like, when you use it against me, I think it's funny because I know that you know it sucks. So and does that make sense? Like that's how I operate.
I'll be like, hey, give me the loudest food you got.
Oh my god, dude, it's the worst. I
Loudest
hate
and
it so
juiciest.
much. Like the way that you react to bitch is the same way I want to react with food. But it applies to everybody. And so then there's these hills. Right? I can't hit her. I can't hit my kids. But I'll smack them on their forehead and stuff, and they do it on purpose. Like if they come up to me in the ear, I'll just pop them on their head.
If I was your kid, I'd be like, Ma, don't buy no milk. I'm gonna just get the cereal. I'm just eat the cereal.
I get so far away from eating this thing. I always leave. I always look like an outcast, like just the black sheep of the family, just like in the corner.
Oh
Yep,
man.
I hate it. A buddy of mine, Dooley, right? He would always forget. He would always start eating on the mic when we're playing a game,
Yeah.
and I would just get real quiet. I would just mute his ass like forever. I can't do it. It just drives me fucking crazy. It's actually it's an actual thing though. It's got like a name.
Yeah,
It's like it's not a phobia, but it's like that. It's like an actual like a medical condition.
lots of people have it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know. I found that out more recently about it, and it's a medical condition.
Yikes.
it's an actual trigger thing. I wonder if,
Crunching food.
I wonder if like ditch is a thing like that. Like it's an actual medical thing.
That's more it's an environment thing. It's just
Couldn't yeah, because I guess food thing. It's not really an
yeah,
environmental thing.
yeah. That's just environment, kind of what you was kind of brought up in.
Yeah, I guess it couldn't be.
But that's funny. You saw you caught that. I was
Oh yeah, no, you weren't like you didn't really. It was like a subtle twitch. Like you just had this like robot moment, and I was like, oh, he's one of those people. Damn, that's how fucked up. Like
No, and that's just all environment, man.
you can hear it over the mic. Like when somebody does that to you, like if you're playing online, I guarantee you they can feel it.
Interesting.
They can hear it. I guarantee you they'll sense that. Because everybody that has that, it's always on that phrase or mom stuff. Like
no,
if you don't know them and you say something about like son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That will. Some people will lose their shit over that.
Yeah, because I'm like, for me personally, I don't do the back and forth thing, especially with men. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that with men because how my own traumas.
Right.
You know, growing up in those type of environments.
Right.
I'm not fit to go back and especially
Right.
in person. You know what I'm saying? Look, you're not fit to.
Right.
You're not fit to do that whole.
Yeah. Right.
Nah.
Yeah, my dad told me that. He's like, dude, that's a really bad idea.
Yeah,
You can get knocked. Anybody can get knocked out.
Yeah,
And then you're fucked.
Because the way I like even joking around, like it took me, like I said, it took therapy and it took a while. I probably took about 32, to actually translate that totally different.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Like just imagine growing up where I did, and then making those mistakes over and over and over. You know how many fights I got in?
Yes.
Where I was not mad at him at all. Like, wait a minute, we're fighting? Why? And it took me forever to catch on what I did wrong. Because I was always in like a shit, football locker room or whatever. Like it was, we're actively talking shit, and then I'd make that mistake of saying that, and then all of a sudden,
And see, for me that was a deadly situation.
yeah.
How how I, in that environment. So
Well, yeah. So it was for me because I kept making the same mistake. I didn't realize what mistake I was
well,
making.
you were just getting into fights.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah. But
So
your consequences were more dire.
Correct.
Yeah.
So-
I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and so that's just what it was. That's just the difference.
That's really scary to think about. Like, there's no way I would survive in Chicago. With that, I mean, I guess I would be a different person.
And then even going to Minnesota, because a lot of people from Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta,
Oh, they
New York,
kinda move that
they
way.
come to Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people that's not. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on how you operate. And so and from what I've seen from my own traumas, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't joke with a lot of people like that, because how my brain immediately interprets it.
Right.
And like you see, people always like, man, you kind of just switch a little bit. It's because
Right.
it's that reactive thing
Right.
of okay, now it's something crazy about to happen, and so we need to self protect. That's why that's when I pause like that. That's me turning off that switch.
You know who else is like that? Baltimore. Remember?
Yep.
I made that mistake like 4 times. The dude I used to play online with,
Okay.
and he's from Baltimore, obviously, and he got mad at me several times for that. Or not like mad at me, but he like made it very known.
Yeah.
You better stop that shit.
Yeah.
It was you could feel it too. It's like, dude, you're way over in Baltimore. Like, there's no reason for me to like.
Ain't no other flight.
It was just like, I just always felt bad because I respect the dude, but
Yeah.
it's such a. But it is weird to me though, because it's like, really, that word bothers you that much? Like, you would just go to straight like. I look at it like going to jail. It's like immediately just like you're willing to throw it all away over a word. It's wild.
And what's crazy is that's a lot of the parts when you get them. What about Chicago or Baltimore, LA? Like that's the climate there. Stuff
Yeah.
like that is that's why I don't do well with politics, because they trigger each side.
Right.
They, you know what I'm saying? They
Right.
say little shit. That's why going back to Candace Owens and Larry Elder and all them, they say things to trigger people.
Right.
How I grew up, when you trigger people, you get a trigger pulled.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So all that do this clout chasing for money and all this other shit, that's never a thing where I'm from.
So how would you talk shit then without? You just knew what lines not to cross.
You don't do that with strangers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, okay, so
It's
once
knowing the person.
yeah.
right. Okay, so once you're, but even like, okay, that makes sense, I guess. So you have to be established good friends at that point.
Correct.
So then everything's fine.
Yeah, so technically, like you
Right.
and I's friendship, relationship, whatever, it's still new,
Right.
right? And back there, it wouldn't progress like this quickly.
That's what it would have ended though, right? So
Yeah, it wouldn't progress this quickly when we vibe
Right.
and like, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, and so it's
Okay,
it's just different.
there's a lot of barriers to get through before.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Because you have to. This is a survival thing. You have to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And like I say, even Minnesota, it's just because people coming in now.
That sucks to have to be to grow up in an environment like that.
But have you ever heard a black person say they always got to be on defense in life? White
Not that I can
white
recall.
folks just get to move through life freely.
Okay,
get,
yes,
get to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't have that luxury in those environments, right? So because we so far in those environments, we so far behind the 8 ball of normalcy. That's why when you get black folks that's in the inner city, in the hood, in those environments, they look at people, at black folks like in the suburbs or that's in middle class, as something totally different, as separate.
Yeah,
Because
that's another conflict in itself.
because we don't know normalcy. Normalcy is this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we back here, and so normalcy we don't know.
That's why it's so hard to break the mold, and why you see like, whenever NFL players that make it out, or
Yeah.
basketball, and
And
then they fuck up again, like Michael Vick as an example.
Yeah.
Like, people don't have a hard time understanding why he would have all this.
Well, you
and
can say
throw-
Aaron Hernandez.
or whoever. Yeah, it
Yeah.
it always applies though.
Yeah.
Because
And that's just what it is. You become a product of your environment,
Right.
and it's hard to get out of that mindset
Right.
of those environments
Right.
until you, like for me, it took therapy because I'm like I could be transparent here. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine. It's not nothing I've never really shared.
Right.
Like if I didn't go to therapy, like I would probably be somewhere in jail for murder, or
Right.
probably dead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's just what it.
Was that recommended to you by somebody, or did you just decide that on your own? To go?
I had my son at 17, and I realized I wanted to be a father.
You didn't want to be a statistic.
Didn't want to be a statistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be an effective father.
Right.
And like I said, my father was murdered when I was 11.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part, I'll tell you how we found out all that out.
I don't think so.
Sure. So by this time, my mother had picked up. It was so much death and so much shit that was going on within our family, and people were just dying left and right in Chicago. So she picked up. She said we was going to the store. She had a Plymouth New Yorker, the little eggshell yellow one,
Oh wow.
and a little U-Haul. She said we was going to the store. Moved to Minnesota
Before he died.
before he died, right? And so, but this, you can see all this stuff that was kind of happening
Right.
at this time, and what was you know what I'm saying, where everything was going. So it was a couple of unfortunate things that was really happening. Mom picked up and left. So we living in Minnesota. We get a phone call. It's probably about 11ish, and I could tell from my mother's reaction what it was.
Right.
And so like my father had been murdered.
Okay.
All right. And it was by the person that was in the room when I was born, his right hand man.
Oh wow.
Right. And how we found out in Chicago when it's a dead person, and they've not been claimed.
Right.
They put it on the TV.
Mm.
My grandmother was watching the news,
Wow.
and that's how we found out.
Do you think that's also why you say love is a choice? Partially?
Exactly.
It's like a protection thing,
Uh,
maybe.
for me.
Right.
So as I got older with that rage,
Right.
I've been so 11. So 11 is when my rage kicked in,
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
and of course I'm smaller, and I can't do too much. I can't
Right.
react too much. You know what I'm saying at this point.
Right.
So that's why I told you my father's casket. That was the last dead body I've ever walked up to.
Okay. Right.
Right. So from 11 on, even to now, I'm 36. I'm 26. All right. I was raging from 11 to I want to say 29.
Right.
Raging. So when I hit 17, now I'm on my own really. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy part is I just had a son. My son was born on my graduation. Yet I've been harboring these feelings and these emotions, and I've been planning a lot of shit from
Right.
11 to 17. So what I do, you know what I'm saying? This when I start my mother and the people that was in our group
Right.
there. I rebelled. So I took some money, got me a car, and I was going back and forth to Chicago.
Mm.
I was only looking for 4 people.
Right.
I had a mission, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do,
Right.
and it'd be done, whatever. And only thing that stopped that was the simple fact, my son he was 16 weeks,
Right.
17, almost 17 weeks early, so he was in the incubator
Mm.
or whatever. So only thing that stopped that progression of events from happening is I wanted to go back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, at this point, my father was taken from me.
Right.
I didn't, you know what I'm saying, at 11.
You wanted to break that cycle that
I wanted to break that cycle. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And that's why, you probably didn't see it, but that's why on June 13th is when my son turned 18.
Yeah, you told me about it.
You know what I'm saying? And that was a happy day for me.
Right.
It was bittersweet for the son, but that's why, it was, I got to experience life with my son.
Right.
I got to see him grow, make mistakes, be retarded,
Right.
but be 18.
Right.
And we are totally out of that environment, totally different life, economic situation, culture situation, all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but my kids will never know their grandfather.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now he don't get to see this part of,
Right.
of life. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to make a conscious decision. Then that's when I started to notice that something was wrong with me on the inside, because because of those life traumas, or I can say that love is a choice for me because it's a switch.
Right.
Either I fuck with you or I don't. And if you cross a certain line, things can go totally left or totally right. Because in my mind, that's how that works.
Right.
Because my father was murdered by his right hand man.
Wow. Yeah,
so it was like love can get you killed. Like seriously, like real talk. And how that worked out is he didn't do it himself. He got some of the younger guys that was under him to do it. They put nails and bats and 4x4s. Took my dad out. You know what I'm saying? And they beat him with it.
Damn.
Then dropped him off at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that worked.
Golly, that's wild, man. That makes not to like devalue the story, but that's why like The Last of Us Part 2 and the whole outcome. I get so defensive over it because people are just ignorant to what can happen in real life, and what he just talked about is exactly what that is.
Yeah, and so for me,
that's
like
that game's gonna get hard for you.
And so when people like
in that
you, people watch movies, they listen to music and all that. Like I live that life because my father, like I told you before, like he had a reason we was in that lifestyle.
Right.
Because group economics, he was like, you know what, I need to do something that's gonna get my people out of these certain situations economically.
Right.
So that's how we actually start to move around.
Right.
And he got that mob connect in Chicago.
Was he from Africa to here, or was his family from there?
So he was born in Yazoo.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, so he was. So he's first generation.
Yeah. So he was there. Exactly.
That's what I was trying to get to. I couldn't think of it.
So he was born in Yazoo. So he didn't know his dad because his dad went back home.
Oh.
Right.
Right.
So we started going as I got a little older.
Right. What's home like there? Do you consider that home for you, or does it feel like home when you went back? Like a natural home?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it for me.
What is it like over there? Like what?
Just like here.
Is it like Jamaica though? Like is it more tropical? I have no idea where it is. Is it like tropical like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
It's
Is it
totally
on the poor
different
side, or is it better economically than? Like how is it in relation
to me? It's the same thing as here. That's why I always find it weird when black people don't want to go over there because of what they've seen on TV of what Africa looks like. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other place, it's places like that there.
Right.
But in the cities, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like this. Like if I was over there now, I'd be doing the same thing.
Right.
I probably just be over there relaxing. It's just like you just see the norms are different. Where of course, because America is America, you know what I'm saying, and Africa is Africa, you know what I'm saying. So the norms are different, but it's the same type of lifestyle.
So how come? How come when you said people? You told me in the past that when people throw the N word at you, it doesn't bother, it doesn't trigger you like that. Is that because you didn't grow up with that? That wasn't a thing that really kind of happened over there, growing up. And bitch did so like that, because you would think it would be the reverse.
I didn't. To be honest, I tell people they be like. I didn't see it. I've never seen a white person in person until I moved to Minnesota.
Okay, so that's probably why then.
You know what I'm saying? And so like that's why I tell people Minnesota taught me racism. You see what I'm saying? But my assholeness to combat that. That's why I made that statement. It was like somebody calling me the N word don't bother me because I know I'm richer than them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for it to bother me, you would have to be in a way more better position than me.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy way of looking at it, but I guess it kind of makes sense.
So it was kind of me just finding a way to take the sting out of it.
I don't even have a single thing that somebody could say to me that would make me mad like that.
That's not true.
Outside of
In
like,
the right situation,
no, not really. Oh, a single word. That's
if it's a heated, because
You have
no,
triggers. Everybody got triggers.
no, but not like I'm going back to the whole white privilege thing.
Okay.
I don't think there's a word like some people get really mad about like if you call them white trash or something. But like that, you could call me that. I wouldn't care. Like I don't think there's a single thing I have that would bother me to where
you
I'm
mean
like,
in a casual conversation.
or in general, like even in there's not a single phrase or word that would bother me to where I would go like straight to violence.
No.
Like eating loud on purpose and I don't like you. That yeah, but that
See,
outside.
your triggers is different.
But
So
that's not a word though.
because it's not a word, but it's still a trigger. Like if we were sitting here, or let's say we went out to a bar or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and it was a guy we didn't know. He was drunk and he'd have a conversation, and he started the pedophilia shit. That would trigger you.
Yeah, but not towards me. Like not a single thing to me personally. Like,
If he's having this conversation with you, and he's talking about a young girl,
Right. That's your
that-
trigger.
that's your trigger.
Right.
yeah, but not. I'm saying, but an actual word about me.
But I'm saying, I said that your trigger is different than mine.
Yeah, but but
'Cause
most
that's environment.
but most if you can't most black people will never allow another white person to say the N word to them and not be conflict afterwards. I don't think there's nothing like that equivalent.
The young, yeah. There's not nothing like that for y'all. I don't think.
No, that's all I'm saying.
No, hell no.
Which is it's also got to be weird because like I don't people because you always see it's just a word. Why are you letting it bother you? You always see that argument.
Because it's not just a word. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
maybe,
no, but-
maybe for kids now, because maybe for people now.
Don't do that because you're gonna make me right about progress.
No, it's for people because it's like people. Some people have the whole thing. It's in music, so it's just a word.
Right. Yeah, I get all that, but I mean,
me personally, to me, now that I know what I know,
right.
and I've read what I've read and experienced what I experienced, so a white person can't say that around me. I don't care how cool you is.
Right. Yeah. No, well, it was funny because you said
I know
blacks.
some of them. I know some of the most blackest white guys ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, I'll be like, damn, maybe I'm not as black as I think I am. Like seriously, my guy Measy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my brother-in-law Ricky. You know what I'm saying? White guy.
Right.
And they embody that hood.
They're like that. They're like the dude from Power. You don't watch a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
Have you seen Power?
No, but they the ghetto version. They're the ghetto version.
That's
of
what
that.
this guy is. On
Which
Power.
one? Which
the
one?
white dude.
Oh, you talking about? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. So yes, that's him.
Right. Like if
That's
anybody
him.
ever gets a pass, it's that guy. You know.
Yeah, that's
and they didn't even give him the pass in the show, which I
Yeah.
thought was crazy.
And
but
that's them. And that's
Eminem.
yeah. So,
yeah. Well, Eminem was. He probably does though. I'm assuming he probably does.
Nah, he don't even say the music. He stopped every time.
I know, but I'm saying I would think he probably does behind the scenes. So if I had to guess.
No, Proof said he never did a lot of that shit.
Really?
I didn't know that. Fair enough. I just assumed. No, yeah. I always thought that was when people were like, it's just a word. You know. I just thought that's a silly argument.
I let my white friends know if you say that in public around anybody, you was on your own. Because here's the thing, I don't even let black people call me that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I don't agree with it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So my white friends that I know probably do use it. They know, like they don't come around me with that really, and they know if you say that in public around the wrong people, hey man, somebody got to live to tell the story.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm recording.
You'll do it the wrong way too. You won't be in landscape. You'll do it just like this. Bothers the shit out of me. That's another one.
Well, that's what you can flip the video and edit it.
No, it takes all the. You can't. No, you have to zoom in. You can't.
No, you don't.
It's not gonna give you all the landscape. It's not gonna give you all the stuff that you didn't capture on camera.
Oh, gotcha.
It bothers the shit out of me.
Gotcha.
Like that's why like movies now that they got rid of the black bars. That's not the way we're supposed to have black bars. That's the way it's filmed. They're cutting that shit out.
Oh,
I hate
full
it.
screen. Gotcha.
Yeah, I hate it because it's not right. It's wrong.
Oh, I gotta have full screen.
See, it's wrong. You probably don't even mess with your TV settings, do you?
Oh, of course I do. I'm a gamer.
You mess with them?
Yeah.
Like for a movie, like you have a movie setting?
I have a movie setting, a game setting.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because most people just go like straight from the factory, they just plug it in. Oh, it's great.
Hell no, I'm calibrating all my TVs.
Okay, fair enough. God damn, I was about to say we wouldn't have problems. Because you. What's the chat look like? Because I can't see anything.
Quiet.
Okay.
Talk. We always going. How long we been on?
No idea.
Hours.
Hours? Yeah.
About,
Good Lord, 4 hours?
Mhm.
We got to end this shit.
Yeah, we be
We're gonna run out. We're gonna run out of shit to talk about for the next 3 months.
Wildin'.
All right, hey, we appreciate y'all coming by. I don't know. I think hopefully the very next time
Friday?
it's supposed to be. Yeah, this coming up Friday, and it's going to be with Cecil, and we're going to talk about. There'll be mainly a gun thing, I'm assuming, but there's some topics
There's some topics that
I'm going to instigate, and it's going to be so exciting. I'm excited for that one. That should be on Friday. We've already got it's already penciled in, so it should be Friday. I don't know what time. I'm assuming it's going to be much earlier though. It'll probably be, if I had to guess, probably around 6 or 7.
Yeah, because we started this shit late.
Yeah, but like with him, he won't do that. So it'll probably be 6 or 7 o'clock. I'm been talking that way, and they can't hear me. Anyway, appreciate it. We're ending this damn thing. It's always an awkward ending. It takes so long.
Lord.